If you enjoyed this audiobook, please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing to the channel. Sharing it with your friends and family helps spread knowledge, and when we help others grow, we grow too. Thank you so much for listening. Let's dive into the book. Chapter 1, Food Wisdom for Everyday Life. Part 1, Eat Real, Not Fake. In a world where supermarket shelves are filled with products that barely resemble food, the choice between real and fake food has become more critical than ever. This section will guide you through the simple yet powerful practice of choosing whole, minimally processed foods over their artificial counterparts. You'll discover how switching from packaged snacks to fresh apples, or from instant meals to home-cooked dishes, can transform your energy levels, mood, and long-term health. Through relatable stories and practical strategies, you'll learn that eating well doesn't require complicated rules or expensive ingredients. Just the wisdom to recognize real food when you see it. Consider your typical breakfast for a moment. Do you reach for a box of cereal with ingredients you can't pronounce? Or do you choose oats with fresh berries? This simple choice illustrates the fundamental difference between processed and real food. Elena, a busy teacher from Phoenix, made this exact switch 3 months ago. She replaced her morning cereal with steel-cut oats, topped with banana slices. Within weeks, she noticed her energy remained steady until lunch, without the mid-morning crashes that used to plague her. Real food comes from the earth, not from factories. It grows on trees, in gardens, and in fields. When you pick up an apple, you know exactly what you're getting. When you pick up a fruit snack claiming to be made with real fruit, you're getting a product that may contain dozens of additives, preservatives, and artificial flavors. The apple provides fiber, vitamins, and natural sugars that your body recognizes and processes efficiently. The fruit snack delivers a quick sugar spike, followed by an energy crash. The processing of food strips away nutrients and adds chemicals that our bodies struggle to handle. Take bread as an example. Traditional bread contains flour, water, salt, and yeast. Modern commercial bread often contains over 20 ingredients, including preservatives, emulsifiers, and dough conditioners. Marcus, a construction worker from Denver, discovered this when he started buying bread from a local bakery instead of the grocery store. His digestive issues, which had bothered him for years, improved dramatically within a month. What makes a food real versus fake isn't always obvious. A helpful rule is to consider whether your great-grandmother would recognize it as food. Would she know what a protein bar is? Probably not. Would she recognize a piece of grilled chicken with roasted vegetables? Absolutely. This simple test helps cut through marketing claims and fancy packaging to focus on the essence of what you're eating. The transformation from processed to real food doesn't happen overnight, and it doesn't need to be perfect. Start by making one swap at a time. Replace your afternoon bag of chips with a handful of nuts. Choose water over soda with dinner. Cook one extra meal at home each week instead of ordering takeout. These small changes compound over time, creating significant improvements in how you feel and function. How often do you read the ingredient list on packaged foods? Many people are surprised to discover that products marketed as healthy contain high levels of sugar, sodium, and unpronounceable chemicals. A frozen dinner labeled low-fat might contain more sodium than you should eat in an entire day. A granola bar advertised as natural might have more sugar than a candy bar. The emotional and cultural aspects of food choices run deep. Food connects us to our families, our traditions, and our memories. Rosa, a grandmother from San Antonio, remembers how her mother would spend hours in the kitchen preparing meals from scratch. When Rosa started cooking traditional recipes again, instead of relying on convenience foods, she noticed her family gathered around the dinner table more often. The conversations flowed more easily, and everyone seemed more satisfied after meals. Real food requires more time and effort than processed alternatives, but the investment pays dividends in health and satisfaction. When you cook at home, you control every ingredient. You decide how much salt to add, what type of oil to use, and whether to include preservatives. This control translates into better nutrition and often better taste. The cost argument against real food often falls apart under scrutiny. While organic produce might cost more than packaged snacks, A bag of apples provides more nutrition and satisfaction than an equivalent dollar amount spent on processed foods. When you factor in the long-term health costs of poor nutrition, real food becomes an investment rather than an expense. Shopping for real food becomes easier once you know where to look. The perimeter of most grocery stores contains the real food: fresh produce, dairy, meat, and fish. The center aisles house most of the processed products. This doesn't mean everything in the center aisles is off limits, but it does mean reading labels more carefully and choosing products with fewer ingredients. Real food spoils, and that's actually a good sign. If bacteria won't eat it, why should you? Fresh vegetables wilt, fruits develop spots, and meat expires. These natural processes indicate that the food contains nutrients that living organisms can use. Processed foods that last for months or years on shelves achieve this longevity through chemical preservation, not nutritional value. The journey back to real food reconnects you with the seasons, the soil, and the simple pleasure of eating. When you bite into a tomato in summer, you taste sunshine and soil. When you eat a tomato in winter that was shipped thousands of miles and picked before it was ripe, you taste very little. This connection to seasons and local growing cycles enhances both the nutritional value and the enjoyment of your meals. Making the switch to real food isn't about perfection or following rigid rules. It's about developing awareness of what you put in your body and making choices that support your health and well-being. Every real food choice you make is a vote for your future self, an investment in energy, clarity, and vitality that will serve you for years to come. Part 2. Simple rules, big changes. Simple eating rules hold remarkable power to change your health without the need for complicated diet plans or expensive supplements. These straightforward guidelines act as your daily compass, helping you make better food choices even when life gets busy or stressful. Think of them as your grandmother's wisdom combined with modern science, practical advice that works in the real world. The beauty lies in their simplicity. You don't need to count calories, measure portions obsessively, or memorize complex nutritional information. Instead, these rules create automatic habits that guide you toward better health one meal at a time. Consider James, a busy accountant who struggled with afternoon energy crashes and weekend overeating. He felt overwhelmed by conflicting diet advice until he adopted 3 simple rules: eat mostly plants, stop eating when 80% full, and avoid foods with more than 5 ingredients. Within 2 months, his energy stabilized. He lost 15 pounds without trying, and his weekend food binges disappeared. The secret wasn't willpower. It was having clear, simple guidelines that removed decision fatigue from his daily routine. The first powerful rule focuses on plant-based eating. Fill half your plate with vegetables and fruits at every meal. This doesn't mean becoming vegetarian overnight, but rather shifting the balance on your plate. Plants provide fiber that keeps you full longer, antioxidants that fight inflammation, and nutrients that support steady energy levels throughout the day. When Lisa started this practice, she discovered that adding extra vegetables to her pasta made her feel satisfied with smaller portions, naturally reducing her calorie intake without feeling deprived. What would happen if you committed to adding just 1 extra serving of vegetables to your current meals this week? Another transformative rule involves ingredient recognition. If your great-grandmother wouldn't recognize it as food, think twice before eating it. This simple test helps you avoid ultra-processed foods loaded with artificial additives, preservatives, and chemicals your body doesn't know how to process effectively. Foods with long ingredient lists full of unpronounceable names typically contain high amounts of added sugars, unhealthy fats, and sodium that can disrupt your hunger signals and energy levels. David, a construction worker, applied this rule during grocery shopping and was shocked to discover that his favorite granola bars contained 37 ingredients, including several types of sugar and artificial flavors. He switched to making his own trail mix with nuts, seeds, and dried fruit. Not only did he save money, but his mid-morning energy crashes disappeared because his snack now provided sustained fuel instead of a sugar spike followed by a crash. The practice of eating slowly and stopping before complete fullness represents another game-changing approach. Your brain needs approximately 20 minutes to register satiety signals from your stomach. When you eat quickly, you often consume more food than your body actually needs before these signals can take effect. This leads to uncomfortable fullness, sluggish digestion, and gradual weight gain over time. Maria, a teacher who used to eat lunch quickly between classes, started setting a timer for 15 minutes during meals. She discovered that eating more slowly helped her recognize when she felt satisfied rather than stuffed. This simple change helped her lose weight naturally and reduce the afternoon bloating that had plagued her for years. Another essential rule focuses on drinking more water and fewer sugary beverages. Many people consume hundreds of extra calories daily through sodas, fruit juices, and specialty coffee drinks without realizing the impact on their blood sugar and overall health. These liquid calories don't trigger the same satiety responses as solid foods, making it easy to overconsume them. Tom replaced his daily afternoon soda with sparkling water flavored with a splash of fruit juice. This single change eliminated 150 calories from his daily intake, stabilized his energy levels, and improved his sleep quality. Over 6 months, this simple swap contributed to a 20-pound weight loss without any other dietary changes. How many liquid calories do you consume in a typical day, and which ones could you easily replace with water? The rule of eating regularly scheduled meals prevents the blood sugar roller coaster that leads to poor food choices and overeating. When you skip meals or go too long between eating, your blood sugar drops, triggering intense cravings for quick energy sources like sugary or high-carb foods. These foods cause rapid spikes and crashes in blood sugar, perpetuating the cycle of unstable energy and poor food choices. Planning and preparing simple meals in advance removes the guesswork from healthy eating. When hunger strikes and you're tired or stressed, having healthy options readily available prevents you from reaching for whatever's most convenient, which often means processed foods. This preparation doesn't require elaborate meal prep sessions. Even washing and chopping vegetables on Sunday or keeping hard-boiled eggs in the refrigerator can make the difference between a healthy choice and a poor one during busy weekdays. These simple rules work because they address the psychology of eating as much as the physiology. They create clear boundaries that reduce decision fatigue while allowing flexibility for life's inevitable changes and celebrations. The goal isn't perfection, but consistent progress toward better health through manageable, sustainable changes that become second nature over time. Part 3. Rethinking what's on your plate. Understanding how to build a truly nourishing meal requires stepping back from diet culture noise and focusing on what your body actually needs. Most people create plates without considering the intricate dance between different nutrients, missing opportunities to feel energized, satisfied, and healthy. This section reveals how to construct meals that work with your biology rather than against it, transforming eating from guesswork into an art form that supports your energy, mood, and long-term wellness through simple, science-backed principles. Looking at your plate differently starts with understanding that every meal is an opportunity to fuel your body properly. Emma used to grab whatever was quickest, usually a sandwich and chips, but felt sluggish every afternoon. When she learned to view her plate as 3 distinct sections, everything changed. She began filling half her plate with vegetables, 1/4 with protein, and 1/4 with complex carbohydrates. Within 2 weeks, her energy levels stabilized, and she stopped reaching for afternoon snacks. The foundation of any good meal begins with vegetables and fruits. These foods provide the fiber that feeds beneficial gut bacteria, vitamins that support immune function, and antioxidants that protect against disease. Research consistently shows that people who eat 5 to 9 servings of fruits and vegetables daily have lower rates of heart disease, diabetes, and certain cancers. The key is variety. Different colors provide different nutrients. Purple cabbage offers anthocyanins for brain health, orange carrots provide beta-carotene for eye health, and leafy greens supply folate for energy production. Think of your plate as a canvas where colors indicate nutritional diversity. Marcus discovered this when his doctor recommended he eat more vegetables to manage his cholesterol. Instead of forcing himself to eat bland salads, he started adding colorful vegetables to dishes he already enjoyed. Red peppers went into his morning eggs, purple onions joined his lunchtime sandwiches, and green broccoli enhanced his dinner pasta. His cholesterol dropped 20 points in 3 months, and he actually enjoyed his meals more. Protein deserves careful consideration because it affects both immediate satisfaction and long-term health. Your body needs protein to build and repair tissues, create enzymes and hormones, and maintain stable blood sugar levels. The best sources include fish, poultry, eggs, legumes, nuts, and seeds. Each brings unique benefits. Fish provides omega-3 fatty acids for brain health, while legumes offer both protein and fiber for digestive wellness. How much protein do you need at each meal to feel satisfied without feeling heavy? The answer varies by individual, but a palm-sized portion typically provides adequate protein for most people. Jessica learned this lesson when she started adding Greek yogurt to her breakfast instead of just eating cereal. The extra protein kept her satisfied until lunch, eliminating her mid-morning hunger pangs and reducing her overall calorie intake without conscious effort. Carbohydrates have been unfairly demonized, yet they serve as your body's preferred energy source. The distinction lies between refined and complex carbohydrates. Refined carbohydrates, white bread, pastries, sugary drinks, cause rapid spikes in blood sugar followed by crashes that leave you tired and hungry. Complex carbohydrates, whole grains, sweet potatoes, beans, provide steady energy and important nutrients while supporting healthy digestion. The timing of carbohydrate consumption matters too. Starting your day with refined carbohydrates sets you up for energy crashes, while complex carbohydrates provide sustained fuel. David switched from sugary cereal to oatmeal topped with berries and nuts. This simple change eliminated his mid-morning energy dip and improved his concentration during important meetings. Fats play crucial roles in hormone production, nutrient absorption, and brain function. Your body needs healthy fats from sources like avocados, nuts, seeds, olive oil, and fatty fish. These fats help you absorb fat-soluble vitamins and keep you satisfied between meals. The key is choosing the right types while managing portions, since fats are calorie-dense. Consider how different fats affect your meals. Adding a tablespoon of olive oil to your salad not only enhances flavor, but helps your body absorb the vitamins from those colorful vegetables. Similarly, including nuts or seeds provides healthy fats along with protein and fiber, creating a more balanced and satisfying meal. Fiber deserves special attention because most people consume less than half the recommended amount. Fiber slows digestion, stabilizes blood sugar, feeds beneficial gut bacteria, and helps you feel full. Foods high in fiber include vegetables, fruits, whole grains, and legumes. Increasing fiber intake gradually prevents digestive discomfort while maximizing benefits. What happens when you suddenly increase your fiber intake without gradual adjustment? Your digestive system may protest with gas and bloating. Lisa learned this when she enthusiastically added beans to every meal after reading about their health benefits. Starting with smaller portions and gradually increasing allows your gut bacteria to adapt, making the transition comfortable and sustainable. Creating balanced meals becomes easier with simple frameworks. The plate method provides visual guidance. Half vegetables, quarter protein, quarter complex carbohydrates, with healthy fats incorporated throughout. This approach ensures nutritional balance without requiring calorie counting or complicated calculations. Another useful framework focuses on including all macronutrients at each meal. When planning breakfast, lunch, or dinner, ask yourself, where are my vegetables? What's my protein source? Which complex carbohydrates will provide sustained energy? How can I include healthy fats? This mental checklist helps create satisfying, nutritionally complete meals. Meal timing affects how your body processes nutrients. Eating protein and fiber with carbohydrates slows absorption, preventing blood sugar spikes and crashes. This principle explains why an apple with almond butter provides more sustained energy than an apple alone. The protein and fat from almonds slow the absorption of natural sugars, providing steady fuel rather than a quick spike. Building meals that support stable energy throughout the day requires understanding how different foods interact. Combining protein with complex carbohydrates creates meals that satisfy immediate hunger while providing lasting energy. Adding vegetables increases fiber and nutrients while helping you feel full with fewer calories. Regular meal timing also influences how your body processes food. Eating at consistent times helps regulate hunger hormones and supports healthy metabolism. Skipping meals often leads to overeating later, disrupting blood sugar balance and energy levels. The concept of nutrient density helps guide food choices. Nutrient-dense foods provide many vitamins, minerals, and beneficial compounds relative to their calorie content. Spinach, for example, offers iron, folate, and antioxidants with very few calories. Comparing nutrient density helps you choose foods that provide maximum nutritional benefit. Planning ahead transforms good intentions into consistent habits. Preparing vegetables when you return from grocery shopping makes them more likely to be eaten. Cooking grains in batches provides quick meal components throughout the week. Having protein sources ready, hard-boiled eggs, cooked chicken, or canned beans, enables quick meal assembly. Understanding your personal preferences and lifestyle constraints helps create sustainable eating patterns. Some people thrive with 3 larger meals, while others prefer smaller, more frequent eating. Some prefer savory breakfasts, while others want something sweet. Honoring these preferences while maintaining nutritional balance creates lasting success. Building meals that truly nourish requires balancing nutritional needs with practical realities. The goal isn't perfection, but progress toward plates that support your health, energy, and satisfaction. Small improvements compound over time, creating significant changes in how you feel and function. Part 4. The power of small habits. Making one tiny change in your eating routine can create waves of transformation that ripple through your entire life. The science of habit formation reveals that small, consistent actions compound into remarkable results over time. Rather than attempting dramatic overhauls that often fail, successful people focus on micro changes that feel almost effortless. This approach works because it bypasses the brain's resistance to change, while building the neural pathways that make healthy choices automatic. The stories and strategies ahead will show you how simple shifts in your daily routine can lead to profound improvements in your energy, health, and overall well-being. The human brain creates habits through a simple loop that scientists call the habit cycle. First comes a cue that triggers the behavior, then the routine itself, followed by a reward that reinforces the pattern. Understanding this cycle allows you to design new healthy habits that stick naturally. Consider the story of Emma, a busy teacher who struggled with afternoon energy crashes and constant snacking on vending machine treats. Emma started with one small change. She placed an apple and a small container of nuts on her desk each morning before students arrived. This simple act created a visual cue that reminded her of her healthier choice when the 3 p.m. hunger hit. Within 2 weeks, reaching for the apple became automatic. The natural sugars provided steady energy while the nuts offered satisfying protein and healthy fats. What made Emma's approach successful was its simplicity. She didn't try to overhaul her entire diet or eliminate all processed foods overnight. Instead, she focused on replacing one unhealthy snack with a nutritious alternative. This single change reduced her daily added sugar intake by approximately 25 grams and increased her fiber consumption significantly. The power of habit stacking amplifies these small changes even further. This technique involves attaching a new healthy habit to an existing routine you already perform consistently. James, a software developer, wanted to increase his vegetable intake, but often forgot to include them in his meals. He decided to stack a new habit onto his existing coffee-making routine. Every morning while his coffee brewed, James would wash and chop vegetables for the day. This 5-minute task became automatic because it piggybacked on an established routine. Within a month, James was consuming 3 additional servings of vegetables daily without any extra planning or willpower. Have you identified an existing routine in your day where you could stack a small, healthy eating habit? The environment plays a crucial role in making healthy habits effortless. Research shows that people make over 200 food-related decisions daily, and most occur subconsciously based on what's most visible and accessible. By redesigning your kitchen and workspace, you can make nutritious choices the easy choices. Lisa transformed her eating habits by applying simple environmental design principles. She moved fresh fruit to eye level in the refrigerator and placed a bowl of apples and oranges on the kitchen counter. Simultaneously, she stored less healthy snacks in opaque containers in harder-to-reach places. This wasn't about elimination, but about making the healthier option more convenient. The results were remarkable. Lisa's family increased their fruit consumption by 40% within the first month, without any conscious effort or restriction. The visual cues and easy accessibility made choosing fruit feel natural rather than forced. Meal preparation represents another powerful habit that creates cascading benefits throughout the week. Rather than viewing meal prep as an overwhelming Sunday marathon, successful people break it into small, manageable tasks. They might spend 15 minutes washing and chopping vegetables on Sunday, another 15 minutes cooking grains on Wednesday, and 10 minutes preparing proteins on Friday. Marcus, a busy father of two, struggled with weeknight dinners and often resorted to takeout. He started with one simple prep habit, cooking a large batch of quinoa every Sunday. This single action provided the foundation for quick, nutritious meals throughout the week. He could add vegetables, protein, and seasonings to create different dishes without starting from scratch each night. The key insight is that small preparations eliminate decision fatigue during busy moments. When Marcus arrived home after work, he didn't need to decide what to cook or spend time preparing grains. The healthy foundation was already available, making nutritious choices the path of least resistance. Building sustainable habits also requires understanding and planning for obstacles. The most common barriers include time constraints, fluctuating motivation, and intense cravings. However, each of these challenges can be addressed with simple strategies. Time scarcity often leads people to abandon healthy eating habits. The solution isn't finding more time, but using existing time more efficiently. Rachel, a medical resident working 12-hour shifts, couldn't manage traditional meal prep. Instead, she adopted the 2-minute rule for healthy habits. Every time Rachel opened the refrigerator, she would grab a piece of fruit or a handful of nuts. This tiny action took less than 2 minutes, but ensured she consumed nutritious snacks throughout her demanding shifts. Over 6 months, these small snacking improvements contributed to increased energy levels and better focus during long procedures. Motivation naturally fluctuates, which is why relying solely on willpower leads to failure. Instead, successful habit builders create systems that work regardless of how motivated they feel. This involves making healthy choices require less mental energy than unhealthy ones. Tom wanted to reduce his consumption of sugary drinks but found himself reaching for soda when stressed. Rather than relying on willpower to resist, he changed his environment. He replaced the soda in his refrigerator with sparkling water flavored with fresh fruit. When stress triggered his usual habit, the healthier option was what he found available. This substitution approach works because it maintains the existing habit loop while changing only the routine portion. The cue remains the same, and the reward of a refreshing drink still occurs, but the behavior itself becomes healthier. What environmental changes could you make today to support your healthy eating goals? Cravings present another significant challenge, but understanding their patterns makes them manageable. Most food cravings follow predictable timing and are often triggered by specific emotions or situations. By identifying these patterns, you can prepare alternative responses. Angela noticed she craved sweets every afternoon around 4 p.m., especially on stressful days. Instead of fighting the craving, she planned for it. She prepared small portions of dark chocolate paired with almonds and kept them readily available. This satisfied her sweet tooth while providing beneficial antioxidants and healthy fats. The portion control aspect proved crucial. Angela pre-portioned her afternoon treats into small containers, which prevented mindless overeating while still honoring her body's signals. This approach reduced guilt and created a sustainable way to manage cravings without feeling deprived. Social support accelerates habit formation and increases the likelihood of long-term success. Sharing your small changes with family members, friends, or colleagues creates accountability and often inspires others to make positive changes themselves. David and his wife Sarah decided to implement one small change together each month. Their first month focused on adding a green vegetable to dinner every night. They took turns choosing and preparing different vegetables, which introduced variety and made the new habit enjoyable rather than burdensome. This collaborative approach created natural accountability. On evenings when one person felt unmotivated, the other provided gentle encouragement. They also celebrated small victories together, reinforcing the positive aspects of their new habits. The compound effect of small habits becomes visible over longer time periods. Research indicates that people who make gradual changes maintain them for years, while those attempting dramatic transformations often return to old patterns within months. Consider tracking your small changes to witness their cumulative impact. This doesn't require elaborate systems or apps. Simple observations about energy levels, sleep quality, or mood can reveal the profound effects of minor dietary adjustments. The beauty of focusing on small habits lies in their accessibility. Everyone can implement one tiny change, regardless of their current circumstances, budget, or cooking skills. Whether it's drinking one extra glass of water daily, adding one serving of vegetables to lunch, or replacing one processed snack with whole food, these micro changes create momentum toward larger transformations. Each small habit you successfully implement builds confidence and creates neural pathways that make the next healthy choice easier. This positive cycle continues, gradually transforming your relationship with food from one of struggle to one of natural, effortless nourishment. Chapter 2. Your Body. Part 1. Listening to your gut. Your gut holds extraordinary power over your entire body, functioning as a second brain that influences everything from your mood to your immune system. This complex ecosystem of bacteria, known as your microbiome, communicates constantly with your brain through what scientists call the gut-brain axis. When your gut is healthy, you feel energetic, clear-minded, and emotionally balanced. When it's struggling, you might experience brain fog, anxiety, digestive discomfort, or frequent illness. The remarkable connection between your digestive system and overall well-being means that every food choice you make either supports or undermines this delicate balance. Alina discovered this connection the hard way. For months, she battled afternoon fatigue, bloating after meals, and unexplained mood swings. Her doctor found nothing wrong during routine tests, but Elena knew something wasn't right. She felt like her body was working against her. After researching gut health, she decided to track her symptoms alongside her food choices. The pattern became clear. Certain foods left her feeling sluggish and uncomfortable, while others gave her sustained energy and mental clarity. The trillions of bacteria living in your digestive tract form a community more diverse than a rainforest. These microorganisms help digest food, produce vitamins, regulate hormones, and protect against harmful pathogens. When beneficial bacteria thrive, they create short-chain fatty acids that reduce inflammation and support brain function. However, when harmful bacteria dominate, they can produce toxins that trigger inflammation and disrupt the gut-brain communication pathway. Modern life often works against gut health. Processed foods, artificial sweeteners, chronic stress, insufficient sleep, and overuse of antibiotics can all disrupt your microbiome balance. The standard Western diet, high in sugar and low in fiber, feeds harmful bacteria while starving beneficial ones. This imbalance, called dysbiosis, contributes to digestive issues, weakened immunity, and even mental health challenges. Marcus experienced this firsthand during a stressful period at work. His diet consisted mainly of takeout meals and energy drinks. Within weeks, he developed chronic heartburn, irregular bowel movements, and difficulty concentrating. His sleep quality deteriorated, creating a cycle where stress affected his gut and poor gut health increased his stress levels. The connection became impossible to ignore. Have you noticed how certain foods make you feel energized while others leave you sluggish? Your gut is constantly sending signals about what it needs to function optimally. Learning to interpret these messages transforms how you approach eating. Instead of following rigid diet rules, you begin to understand your body's unique requirements and preferences. The solution lies in feeding your beneficial bacteria while creating an environment where they can flourish. Fiber-rich foods serve as fuel for good bacteria, helping them multiply and produce beneficial compounds. Vegetables, fruits, whole grains, legumes, nuts, and seeds provide the diverse fiber types your microbiome craves. Each type of fiber feeds different bacterial strains, which is why dietary diversity matters more than perfection. Fermented foods introduce live beneficial bacteria directly into your system. Yogurt with active cultures, kefir, sauerkraut, kimchi, and kombucha all contain probiotics that can help restore microbial balance. However, consistency matters more than quantity. Small amounts of fermented foods eaten regularly provide more benefit than occasional large servings. Prebiotic foods deserve equal attention. These special fibers found in garlic, onions, asparagus, bananas, and oats specifically nourish beneficial bacteria. Think of prebiotics as fertilizer for your gut garden. Without them, even the best probiotics struggle to establish themselves and thrive in your digestive system. Example of a gut-supporting meal plan. Elena's transformation began with simple changes. She started each morning with steel-cut oats topped with berries and ground flaxseed. This combination provided soluble fiber, antioxidants, and omega-3 fatty acids. For lunch, she chose salads with diverse vegetables, adding fermented pickles or a small portion of sauerkraut. Dinner included roasted vegetables alongside lean protein, often accompanied by a small serving of kimchi. Within 2 weeks, Elena noticed improvements. Her energy remained steady throughout the day, and the afternoon crashes disappeared. Her mood stabilized, and she felt more resilient to daily stressors. Most importantly, she learned to trust her body's signals, eating when hungry and stopping when satisfied. Eating habits affect gut health as much as food choices. Eating too quickly overwhelms your digestive system and prevents proper nutrient absorption. Your stomach needs time to signal fullness to your brain, a process that takes approximately 20 minutes. When you eat rapidly, you often consume more than your body needs before recognizing satiety. Chronic stress directly impacts gut function through the gut-brain axis. Stress hormones like cortisol alter gut bacteria composition and increase intestinal permeability. This condition, sometimes called leaky gut, allows toxins to enter your bloodstream and trigger inflammation throughout your body. Dr. James, a gastroenterologist, often tells patients that managing stress is as important as changing their diet. He recommends simple stress reduction techniques like deep breathing before meals, eating without distractions, and taking short walks after eating. These practices activate the parasympathetic nervous system, optimizing digestion and nutrient absorption. Hydration plays a crucial role in gut health. Water helps dissolve nutrients, transport them through your intestinal wall, and maintain the mucus layer that protects your gut lining. Adequate hydration also supports the growth of beneficial bacteria and helps eliminate waste products efficiently. Sleep quality directly affects your microbiome. During sleep, your gut bacteria undergo important repair and regeneration processes. Poor sleep disrupts these cycles, leading to bacterial imbalances that can affect mood, immunity, and digestion the following day. Establishing consistent sleep routines supports both gut health and overall well-being. What signals is your gut sending you right now? Pay attention to how different foods affect your energy, mood, and digestive comfort. Keep a simple food and symptom journal for a week, noting patterns between what you eat and how you feel. This awareness becomes the foundation for making informed choices that support your unique digestive needs. The journey to optimal gut health requires patience and consistency rather than dramatic changes. Small, sustainable modifications compound over time, creating lasting improvements in how you feel and function. Your gut bacteria can begin changing within days of dietary adjustments, but establishing a stable, healthy microbiome takes weeks to months of consistent care. Remember that your gut health journey is personal. What works perfectly for one person might not suit another. Pay attention to your body's responses, make gradual adjustments, and celebrate small improvements. Your gut is constantly communicating with you, offering guidance about what it needs to support your overall health and vitality. Part 2. Blood sugar and bright mornings. Your morning energy levels might feel like a mystery, but the solution often lies in understanding how your blood sugar responds to different foods throughout the day. When blood sugar swings wildly from high to low, it creates a roller coaster of energy crashes, mood swings, and intense food cravings that can derail your entire day. Learning to stabilize these levels through simple dietary choices can transform not just your mornings, but your overall health and vitality. This approach requires no special equipment or complicated meal plans, just awareness of how certain foods affect your body's natural rhythms. Emma used to start every day with a large coffee and a pastry from the bakery near her office. By 10 a.m., she felt exhausted and cranky, reaching for another sugary snack to boost her energy. This pattern repeated throughout the day, leaving her feeling drained and frustrated. What Emma didn't realize was that her breakfast was causing her blood sugar to spike rapidly, then crash just as quickly. Blood sugar, or glucose, serves as your body's primary fuel source. When you eat foods high in sugar or refined carbohydrates, your blood glucose rises quickly. Your pancreas responds by releasing insulin to help cells absorb this glucose. However, when blood sugar spikes too high too fast, the insulin response can be so strong that it drives blood sugar below normal levels, creating that familiar energy crash. Think of blood sugar like a campfire. Adding kindling creates a quick, bright flame that burns out fast. Adding a steady log keeps the fire burning consistently for hours. Refined sugars and processed carbohydrates act like kindling, while protein, fiber, and healthy fats act like steady logs. After learning about blood sugar stability, Emma changed her morning routine. She began eating 2 eggs with avocado on whole grain toast, adding berries for natural sweetness. Within a week, she noticed she no longer experienced the mid-morning crash. Her energy remained steady, and her afternoon cravings disappeared. How often do you notice your energy levels fluctuating throughout the day? And what foods did you eat before these changes occur? The timing of meals also plays a crucial role in blood sugar management. Eating at regular intervals prevents the extreme hunger that often leads to poor food choices. When you skip meals, your blood sugar drops too low, triggering your body's stress response and making you crave quick energy sources like sugar and refined carbs. Consider Marcus, a teacher who often skipped lunch due to his busy schedule. By 3 p.m., he felt shaky and irritable, heading straight for the vending machine. Once he started packing simple lunches with protein and vegetables, eating at consistent times, his afternoon became much more manageable. Starting your day with protein and fiber creates a foundation for stable blood sugar. Protein helps slow the absorption of carbohydrates, while fiber adds bulk and nutrients without causing spikes. Eggs, Greek yogurt, nuts, seeds, and vegetables all contribute to this stability. Greek yogurt with berries and nuts, scrambled eggs with spinach and whole grain toast, oatmeal topped with almond butter and cinnamon, avocado toast with hemp seeds. The foods to limit include those that cause rapid blood sugar spikes. Sugary cereals, pastries, white bread, and sweetened drinks send glucose levels soaring quickly. Even seemingly healthy options like fruit juices can cause problems when consumed without fiber or protein to slow absorption. Linda discovered this when she switched from orange juice to eating whole oranges with a handful of almonds. The fiber in the whole fruit and the protein in the almonds prevented the blood sugar spike she experienced with juice alone. What changes could you make to your current breakfast routine to include more protein and fiber while reducing quick-digesting sugars? Beyond breakfast, maintaining stable blood sugar throughout the day involves strategic food combinations. Pairing carbohydrates with protein or healthy fats slows their absorption. Adding vinegar to meals can also help moderate blood sugar response, which explains why salad dressing might do more than just add flavor. Small adjustments compound over time. Adding a tablespoon of ground flaxseed to your morning smoothie, choosing brown rice over white, or having an apple with almond butter instead of alone all contribute to better blood sugar control. Regular physical activity, even light walking after meals, helps muscles use glucose more efficiently. This doesn't require intense workouts. A 10-minute walk after lunch can significantly improve how your body processes the meal you just ate. Sleep quality directly affects blood sugar regulation. Poor sleep makes your body less sensitive to insulin, creating a cycle where unstable blood sugar disrupts sleep, which then worsens blood sugar control the following day. The connection between blood sugar and mood becomes clear when you start paying attention to these patterns. Stable glucose levels support steady neurotransmitter production, keeping you feeling balanced and focused throughout the day. This creates a positive cycle where better choices become easier to maintain because you feel good making them. Part 3. Tuning in to hunger and fullness. Your body has spent years receiving signals about hunger and fullness, but modern life has taught many of us to ignore these natural cues. Diet culture pushes external rules about when to eat, how much to consume, and which foods are forbidden. Meanwhile, busy schedules encourage rushed meals and mindless snacking. This section will help you rediscover your body's innate wisdom about nourishment. You'll learn to distinguish true hunger from emotional triggers, recognize genuine satisfaction, and develop a peaceful relationship with food that honors both your physical needs and personal enjoyment. When Elena first tried intuitive eating, she struggled to identify what hunger actually felt like. Years of restrictive dieting had disconnected her from her body's signals. She would eat because the clock said lunchtime, not because she felt hungry. This pattern left her either overstuffed after meals or constantly thinking about her next snack. Physical hunger develops gradually and can wait. It begins as a gentle reminder in your stomach, perhaps accompanied by low energy or difficulty concentrating. Emotional hunger strikes suddenly and demands immediate satisfaction. It often craves specific comfort foods and persists even after eating. Elena learned to pause before eating and ask herself where this urge was coming from. The hunger scale provides a practical framework for reconnecting with your body. Picture hunger and fullness on a scale from 1 to 10, where 1 represents extreme hunger with physical symptoms like shaking or headaches, and 10 means uncomfortably stuffed. Most people function best eating when they reach a 3 or 4 on the scale, and stopping around 6 or 7. Carlos discovered this approach transformed his relationship with food entirely. Previously, he would skip breakfast, become ravenous by afternoon, then overeat at dinner. Using the hunger scale, he began eating smaller, more frequent meals. He learned that waiting until hunger reached a 2 made him more likely to eat too quickly and choose less nutritious options. How often do you eat based on the clock rather than your body's actual needs? This simple question can reveal how disconnected we've become from natural eating patterns. The process of relearning hunger and fullness cues takes patience. Your body needs time to trust that food will be available when needed. After years of restriction or chaotic eating patterns, these signals may feel unclear at first. Some people initially experience increased appetite as their body recovers from deprivation. Rachel noticed her hunger cues became clearer after about 3 weeks of consistent practice. She stopped eating everything off her plate simply because it was there. Instead, she began checking in with her body mid-meal, asking whether she needed more food or felt satisfied. Mindful eating supports this reconnection process. Rather than multitasking during meals, focus entirely on the eating experience. Notice the colors, textures, and flavors of your food. Chew slowly and put your fork down between bites. This practice helps you recognize the subtle shift from hunger to satisfaction. Restaurant portions often exceed what most bodies need for satisfaction. Tom learned to request a box when his meal arrived, immediately packing half for later. This strategy removed the pressure to clean his plate and helped him focus on his actual hunger levels. Emotional eating represents a normal human response to stress, boredom, or celebration. The goal isn't eliminating emotional eating entirely, but developing awareness around it. When you notice the urge to eat without physical hunger, pause and explore what you're feeling. Sometimes emotional eating serves legitimate needs. A warm bowl of soup when you're feeling lonely provides comfort. The key lies in making conscious choices rather than unconscious reactions. Ask yourself whether food will address the underlying feeling or if you need something else entirely. What feelings do you typically try to manage? Through food? Understanding your emotional eating patterns creates space for alternative responses. Creating structure around meals while honoring hunger and fullness requires balance. Some people thrive with regular mealtimes that prevent extreme hunger. Others prefer eating only when genuinely hungry. Experiment to find what works for your lifestyle and body. The journey toward intuitive eating isn't about perfection. Some days you'll eat past fullness at a celebration or choose comfort food during stress. These experiences provide valuable information about your patterns and preferences rather than reasons for self-criticism. Trust develops gradually as you consistently honor your body's signals. Each time you stop eating when satisfied, despite food remaining on your plate, you strengthen this trust. Each time you eat when hungry, rather than forcing yourself to wait, you reinforce your body's wisdom. Your relationship with food can become a source of peace rather than stress. By tuning into hunger and fullness, you free yourself from external food rules and develop confidence in your body's natural guidance system. Part 4. Healing with every bite. Food serves as your body's most powerful medicine cabinet, available 3 times daily. When you view each meal as an opportunity to heal rather than simply satisfy hunger, you transform eating from a routine task into a therapeutic practice. This approach moves beyond counting calories or following restrictive diets to focus on foods that actively support your body's natural healing processes. The science behind food as medicine reveals how specific nutrients can help manage chronic conditions, boost immune function, and restore balance to your system. By choosing nutrient-dense foods and understanding their healing properties, you can create meals that nourish both your physical health and emotional well-being. Research consistently shows that dietary changes can dramatically impact health outcomes for common conditions. Take diabetes management, where specific food choices can mean the difference between medication dependence and natural blood sugar control. Recent studies demonstrate that people who focus on whole foods, particularly those rich in fiber and healthy fats, often see significant improvements in their glucose levels within weeks. Consider the story of Elena, a 52-year-old teacher who received a pre-diabetes diagnosis during her annual checkup. Rather than accepting medication as inevitable, she decided to explore food as medicine. Elena began incorporating leafy greens into every meal, starting her day with spinach in her morning smoothie and adding kale to her lunch salads. She replaced processed snacks with a handful of walnuts and berries. Within 3 months, her blood sugar levels returned to normal range and her energy levels soared. The key to Elena's success lay in understanding which foods actively support metabolic health. Dark leafy greens contain compounds that help regulate blood sugar naturally. Berries provide antioxidants and fiber that slow glucose absorption. Nuts and seeds offer healthy fats and protein that stabilize blood sugar throughout the day. Digestive healing represents another area where food serves as powerful medicine. Your gut houses roughly 70% of your immune system, making digestive health crucial for overall wellness. When you experience frequent bloating, irregular bowel movements, or food sensitivities, your body signals that your digestive system needs support. Marcus, a 38-year-old software developer, struggled with chronic digestive issues for years. His symptoms included daily bloating, unpredictable bowel movements, and fatigue after meals. After consulting with a nutritionist, Marcus learned that his diet lacked fiber and beneficial bacteria. He began adding fermented foods like sauerkraut and kefir to his meals, while increasing his intake of fiber-rich vegetables and legumes. The transformation didn't happen overnight, but Marcus noticed improvements within 2 weeks. His energy levels stabilized, and the uncomfortable bloating that had plagued him for years gradually disappeared. By month 3, his digestive system functioned smoothly, and he felt more energetic than he had in years. What changes have you noticed in your body when you eat certain foods? Pay attention to how different meals make you feel, both immediately and hours later. Heart health responds remarkably well to dietary interventions. High blood pressure, often called the silent killer, affects millions of people worldwide. While medication can help manage this condition, research shows that specific dietary changes can be equally effective for many individuals. Tomatoes, rich in lycopene, help reduce blood pressure naturally. Garlic contains compounds that relax blood vessels. Fatty fish like salmon provides omega-3 fatty acids that reduce inflammation and support cardiovascular health. Avocados offer potassium, which helps regulate blood pressure. Patricia, a 45-year-old nurse, discovered her blood pressure was elevated during a routine work screening. Having witnessed the effects of cardiovascular disease in her patients, she committed to addressing this through diet. Patricia began preparing meals rich in colorful vegetables, incorporating fatty fish twice weekly, and snacking on nuts instead of processed foods. Her approach focused on adding healing foods rather than restricting everything she enjoyed. Patricia learned to prepare delicious meals featuring salmon with roasted vegetables, hearty salads topped with avocado and pumpkin seeds, and smoothies packed with berries and leafy greens. Within 4 months, her blood pressure readings returned to healthy levels without medication. The healing power of food extends beyond physical symptoms to emotional and psychological well-being. When you nourish your body with wholesome foods, you often experience improved mood, better sleep, and enhanced mental clarity. This connection between nutrition and mental health reflects the intricate relationship between your gut and brain. Foods rich in omega-3 fatty acids such as walnuts, chia seeds, and fatty fish support brain health and may help reduce symptoms of depression and anxiety. Complex carbohydrates from whole grains and vegetables provide steady energy that supports stable mood throughout the day. How do you feel emotionally after eating different types of meals? Notice whether processed foods leave you feeling sluggish, while whole foods provide sustained energy. Building healing meals requires understanding which foods offer the most therapeutic benefits. Dark leafy greens like spinach, kale, and Swiss chard provide folate, iron, and numerous antioxidants that support cellular repair and energy production. These versatile vegetables can be added to smoothies, salads, soups, and stir-fries. Berries represent nature's candy with incredible healing properties. Blueberries, strawberries, and blackberries contain anthocyanins that protect against inflammation and support brain health. Their natural sweetness satisfies cravings while providing essential nutrients and fiber. Nuts and seeds offer concentrated nutrition in small packages. Almonds provide vitamin E and healthy fats that support heart health. Chia seeds and flax seeds contain omega-3 fatty acids and fiber that promote digestive health. Pumpkin seeds offer zinc and magnesium that support immune function and sleep quality. Healthy fats from sources like olive oil, avocados, and fatty fish provide essential nutrients that your body cannot produce on its own. These fats support hormone production, brain function, and nutrient absorption from other foods. Creating healing meals becomes simple when you focus on combining these nutrient-dense ingredients. Start with a base of leafy greens, add colorful vegetables for variety and nutrients, include a source of healthy protein, and finish with beneficial fats. This formula ensures every meal supports your health goals. The emotional aspect of healing through food cannot be overlooked. When you prepare meals with intention and care, the act of cooking becomes a form of self-care. Taking time to select fresh ingredients, prepare them mindfully, and savor each bite creates a positive relationship with food that extends far beyond nutrition. This mindful approach to eating helps break cycles of emotional eating and food guilt. Instead of viewing certain foods as forbidden or feeling shame about eating choices, you can appreciate food as nourishment and healing. This shift in perspective often leads to naturally healthier choices without the stress of rigid dietary rules. Your healing journey through food is unique and personal. What works for Elena's blood sugar management might differ from what helps Patricia's heart health or Marcus's digestive issues. The key lies in experimenting with healing foods while paying attention to how your body responds. Start by adding 1 or 2 healing foods to your current meals rather than overhauling your entire diet overnight. Notice how these additions make you feel over the following days and weeks. This gradual approach allows your body to adapt while building sustainable habits that support long-term health. Remember that healing through food is a process, not a destination. Some days you'll make choices that perfectly align with your health goals, while other days you might choose comfort or convenience. Both approaches have their place in a balanced life. The goal is progress, not perfection, as you discover the profound healing power that lies within every bite. Chapter 3: Kitchen Magic. Part 1: Everyday Meals, Extraordinary Benefits. Home cooking holds the power to transform health outcomes more effectively than any supplement or diet plan. When ordinary ingredients meet thoughtful preparation, they become powerful tools for healing and vitality. This transformation happens not through complicated techniques or expensive gadgets, but through the simple act of preparing food with care and intention. The stories of families who have reclaimed their health through home cooking reveal that extraordinary benefits emerge from the most ordinary moments in the kitchen. Rachel worked 60-hour weeks at a marketing firm and relied on takeout for most meals. Her energy crashed every afternoon, and she struggled with persistent digestive issues. The turning point came when her doctor warned about rising blood sugar levels. Instead of starting another restrictive diet, Rachel decided to cook just one meal at home each week. She began with Sunday batch cooking, preparing simple roasted vegetables and grilled chicken for the week ahead. Within 2 months, Rachel noticed her afternoon energy slumps had disappeared. Her digestion improved, and her blood sugar readings stabilized. The key was not perfection, but consistency. She discovered that simple combinations of protein, vegetables, and whole grains provided sustained energy that processed foods never delivered. What makes home cooking so powerful for health transformation? The answer lies in control over ingredients and preparation methods. Restaurant meals typically contain 3 times more sodium and twice the calories of home-prepared versions. When you control the kitchen, you control the quality of oils, the amount of salt, and the freshness of ingredients. Consider the difference between a store-bought pasta sauce and one made at home. The commercial version often contains added sugars, preservatives, and excessive sodium. A home version using fresh tomatoes, herbs, and olive oil provides antioxidants, healthy fats, and natural flavors without the additives that trigger inflammation. Tom, a father of 3, transformed his family's health through simple meal planning. His children constantly complained of feeling tired and had frequent colds. Tom started dedicating 30 minutes each Sunday to plan the week's meals around seasonal produce. He involved his children in choosing vegetables at the farmer's market and taught them basic cooking skills. The family began eating more colorful vegetables, which provided essential vitamins and minerals their bodies needed. Tom noticed his children's energy levels improved, and they got sick less often. The secret was making vegetables appealing through simple preparations like roasting with herbs or adding them to familiar dishes like pasta and stir-fries. How can busy families find time for home cooking when schedules feel overwhelming? The solution lies in strategic batch cooking and smart preparation techniques. Spending 2 hours on Sunday preparing components for the week creates more time than ordering takeout throughout the week. Batch cooking works by preparing versatile base ingredients that can be combined in different ways. Roasted vegetables, cooked grains, and prepared proteins become building blocks for multiple meals. A sheet pan of roasted sweet potatoes, bell peppers, and onions can become part of breakfast hash, lunch bowls, or dinner sides throughout the week. Lisa, a working mother of twins, discovered this approach when she felt overwhelmed by daily meal decisions. She started preparing 3 base components each Sunday: a grain like quinoa or brown rice, roasted seasonal vegetables, and a protein source. During the week, she combined these elements with different seasonings and sauces to create varied meals. This system eliminated the stress of daily cooking while ensuring her family ate nutritious meals. The twins began eating more vegetables because they were familiar with the flavors and textures. Lisa found that involving her children in Sunday meal prep made them more interested in trying new foods. Seasonal cooking amplifies the health benefits of home-prepared meals while reducing costs. Produce eaten in season contains higher nutrient levels and better flavor than out-of-season alternatives. Spring asparagus provides more vitamins than asparagus shipped from distant locations in winter. James, a retiree on a fixed income, began shopping at farmers markets and adjusting his cooking to match seasonal availability. In summer, he focused on tomatoes, zucchini, and fresh herbs. Winter meals featured root vegetables, winter squash, and hardy greens. This approach reduced his grocery costs while improving the nutritional quality of his meals. The key to successful seasonal cooking is flexibility and curiosity. Instead of forcing specific recipes, let available ingredients inspire the meal. A simple formula of protein, seasonal vegetables, and whole grains provides endless combinations throughout the year. Do you currently plan your meals around what's in season, or do you stick to the same ingredients year-round? Starting with just one seasonal ingredient each week can begin to shift your cooking patterns and introduce new flavors and nutrients to your diet. Quick, nutritious breakfasts set the foundation for stable energy throughout the day. Blood sugar spikes from processed breakfast foods create energy crashes that affect productivity and mood. Simple home-prepared alternatives provide sustained energy without requiring extensive preparation time. Overnight oats represent the perfect example of minimal effort, maximum benefit. Combining rolled oats with protein-rich Greek yogurt, fresh fruit, and nuts creates a balanced breakfast that requires no morning preparation. The combination of fiber, protein, and healthy fats maintains steady blood sugar levels for hours. Maria, a teacher who often skipped breakfast due to time constraints, began preparing overnight oats on Sunday evenings. She created 5 jars at once, varying the fruit and nut combinations for different flavors throughout the week. This 15-minute Sunday investment provided nutritious breakfasts that helped her maintain energy during demanding school days. The transformation in Maria's energy levels was remarkable. She stopped reaching for sugary snacks by mid-morning and found herself more focused during lessons. The stable blood sugar from her protein and fiber-rich breakfast sustained her until lunch. Lunch preparation challenges many people, especially those working outside the home. The temptation of convenient but processed options often wins over home-prepared alternatives. However, simple lunch solutions can be prepared quickly and provide superior nutrition to most commercial options. Grain bowls offer infinite variety while maintaining nutritional balance. The formula combines a whole grain base, plenty of vegetables, a protein source, and a flavorful dressing. These components can be prepared in advance and assembled quickly for fresh, satisfying lunches. David, an office worker tired of expensive and unhealthy lunch options, began preparing grain bowl components on weekends. He cooked a large batch of quinoa, roasted various vegetables, and prepared simple proteins like hard-boiled eggs or grilled chicken. Each morning, he assembled a different combination in a glass container. This system saved David money while improving his afternoon energy levels. The fiber and protein in his lunches prevented the post-meal crashes he experienced with fast food. Colleagues began asking about his colorful, appetizing meals, and several adopted similar approaches. What challenges do you face in preparing nutritious lunches? Identifying specific obstacles helps create targeted solutions that work within your schedule and preferences. Dinner preparation often feels like the biggest hurdle to home cooking. After long days, the appeal of simple, quick options is strong. However, satisfying dinners can be prepared quickly using basic techniques and smart ingredient choices. One-pan meals minimize both preparation and cleanup, while maximizing nutrition. Sheet pan dinners combine protein and vegetables on a single baking sheet, seasoned simply and roasted together. This technique works with countless combinations and requires minimal active cooking time. Elena, a nurse working 12-hour shifts, needed dinner solutions that required minimal energy after exhausting days. She discovered that sheet pan meals could be assembled in the morning and cooked when she returned home. Combinations like salmon with asparagus and sweet potatoes or chicken thighs with Brussels sprouts and carrots became regular rotation meals. The beauty of one-pan meals lies in their simplicity and complete nutrition. Each meal provides protein, vegetables, and often complex carbohydrates in proportions that support health and satisfaction. Cleanup is minimal, which removes another barrier to home cooking. Stir-fries offer another quick dinner solution that maximizes vegetables while providing satisfying flavors. The key is having ingredients prepared and organized before heating the pan. Once cooking begins, the process moves quickly and requires constant attention, making it ideal for focusing the mind after stressful days. Ben, a software developer, found stir-fries helped him transition from work mode to home mode. The process of chopping vegetables and focusing on timing provided a meditative quality that helped him unwind. The quick cooking time meant dinner was ready within 30 minutes of arriving home. The versatility of stir-fries allows for using whatever vegetables are available, reducing food waste while ensuring varied nutrition. The combination of vegetables, protein, and small amounts of whole grains or noodles creates satisfying meals that support stable blood sugar throughout the evening. Building confidence in basic cooking techniques removes the intimidation factor that prevents many people from cooking at home. Mastering a few fundamental skills like roasting, sautéing, and simple seasoning provides the foundation for countless healthy meals. Roasting vegetables transforms their flavors and textures, making them appealing even to those who typically avoid vegetables. The high heat caramelizes natural sugars, creating appealing flavors and textures. This technique works with almost any vegetable and requires minimal skill or attention. Anna, who claimed she couldn't cook, started with simple roasted vegetables as side dishes. She discovered that tossing vegetables with olive oil, salt, and pepper, then roasting at high heat, created delicious results consistently. This success built her confidence to attempt more complex dishes. The progression from basic roasted vegetables to complete meals happens naturally as confidence builds. Adding protein to the same pan, experimenting with different seasonings, and trying new vegetable combinations gradually expands cooking skills without overwhelming beginning cooks. How do you feel about your current cooking skills, and what one technique would you most like to master? Starting with techniques that match your interest and confidence level creates positive experiences that encourage continued learning. The compound effect of regular home cooking extends far beyond individual meals. Families who cook together regularly report stronger relationships, better communication, and shared values around health and nutrition. Children who participate in meal preparation are more likely to make healthy food choices throughout their lives. The financial benefits of home cooking compound over time as well. Families who prepare most meals at home typically spend 40% less on food than those who rely heavily on restaurant meals and processed foods. These savings can be redirected toward higher quality ingredients or other family priorities. Most importantly, the health benefits of consistent home cooking accumulate gradually but powerfully. Reduced inflammation, stable blood sugar, improved digestion, and sustained energy create a foundation for long-term wellness that no single intervention can match. The simple act of preparing food with care becomes an investment in health that pays dividends for years to come. The stories of Rachel, Tom, Lisa, and others demonstrate that extraordinary health transformations emerge from ordinary kitchen efforts. The power lies not in perfection, but in consistency, not in complexity, but in care. Every home-cooked meal represents a choice to prioritize health, family, and well-being through the most fundamental human activity: nourishing ourselves and those we love. Part 2. Fast, fresh, and flavorful. Good food doesn't have to take hours to prepare or require a culinary degree to master. The reality is that some of the most nutritious and satisfying meals come together in under 20 minutes with just a handful of fresh ingredients and smart techniques. This approach to eating well focuses on building confidence in the kitchen through simple methods that deliver maximum flavor and nutrition with minimal effort. You'll discover how strategic meal preparation, clever shopping habits, and a well-stocked spice cabinet can transform your relationship with healthy eating, making it both practical and genuinely enjoyable for your daily routine. Nina discovered this truth during her busiest year as a working mother of 2 young children. Between school pickups, work deadlines, and evening activities, she found herself relying heavily on takeout and processed convenience foods. Her energy levels plummeted, and her family complained about feeling sluggish after meals. The turning point came when she realized that preparing fresh food could actually be faster than waiting for delivery. Her first breakthrough was learning the power of preparation. Every Sunday, Nina spent 30 minutes washing and chopping vegetables, cooking a batch of quinoa, and preparing simple protein options like hard-boiled eggs or grilled chicken strips. This small investment of time transformed her weeknight cooking. A colorful stir-fry could be ready in 8 minutes, using pre-cut vegetables, cooked grains, and a quick sauce made from pantry staples. The foundation of fast, healthy cooking lies in understanding which ingredients deliver the biggest nutritional impact with the least preparation time. Leafy greens like spinach and arugula require no cooking and pack tremendous vitamin density. Canned beans provide protein and fiber instantly. Frozen vegetables retain their nutrients and cook in minutes. Nuts and seeds add healthy fats and crunch without any preparation. Consider how David, a college student with limited cooking skills, learned to create satisfying meals using this principle. His go-to dinner became what he called bowl meals, combinations of quick cooking ingredients assembled in endless variations. A base of mixed greens topped with canned chickpeas, cherry tomatoes, avocado slices, and a drizzle of olive oil and lemon juice created a complete meal in 5 minutes. Adding different herbs, spices, or nuts kept the combination interesting without requiring new cooking techniques. Smart grocery shopping accelerates healthy meal preparation significantly. Shopping the perimeter of the store first focuses attention on fresh, whole foods that require minimal processing. Buying pre-washed salad greens, pre-cut vegetables, and rotisserie chicken costs slightly more but saves considerable time during busy weekdays. The key is balancing convenience with nutrition density. What obstacles currently prevent you from preparing fresh meals more often, and which of these could be addressed through better planning or shopping strategies? Herbs and spices transform simple ingredients into exciting meals without adding calories, sodium, or processing time. Fresh basil turns basic tomatoes and mozzarella into a restaurant-quality caprese salad. Cumin and paprika elevate roasted vegetables from bland to bold. Ginger and garlic create aromatic stir-fries that rival takeout flavors. Elena, a busy nurse working 12-hour shifts, discovered that building a spice collection was like having a shortcut to international cuisine. She kept small containers of key seasonings: Italian herbs, taco seasoning, curry powder, and everything bagel seasoning. That could instantly transform basic proteins and vegetables into diverse, flavorful meals. A piece of salmon became Mediterranean with herbs and lemon, Mexican with cumin and lime, or Asian-inspired with ginger and soy sauce. The art of quick meal assembly follows simple patterns that become intuitive with practice. Start with a protein source, whether beans, eggs, chicken, fish, or tofu. Add vegetables for color, nutrients, and fiber. Include a healthy fat like olive oil, avocado, or nuts. Finally, incorporate herbs, spices, or a simple sauce for flavor complexity. Salads represent perfect examples of this assembly approach. Moving beyond basic lettuce combinations, creative salads become complete meals when built thoughtfully. A Mediterranean bowl combines mixed greens, chickpeas, cucumber, olives, feta cheese, and a lemon olive oil dressing. An Asian-inspired version uses cabbage, edamame, carrots, sesame seeds, and a ginger soy dressing. Each provides complete nutrition while requiring no cooking. Stir-fries offer another versatile platform for quick, nutritious meals. The technique remains consistent regardless of ingredients. Heat oil in a pan, add aromatics like garlic or ginger, incorporate harder vegetables first, then softer ones. Finish with sauce and herbs. This method works equally well with chicken and broccoli, tofu and bell peppers, or shrimp and snap peas. Marcus, a software developer who worked long hours, mastered the stir-fry method and found it more flexible than following specific recipes. He kept frozen vegetable blends, various proteins, and simple sauce ingredients on hand. Dinner became a creative exercise in combining available ingredients using the same basic technique. Snack preparation deserves equal attention to meal planning. Processed snacks often contain hidden sugars, unhealthy fats, and artificial additives that create energy crashes. Fresh alternatives provide sustained energy and genuine satisfaction. Apple slices with almond butter, vegetable sticks with hummus, or Greek yogurt with berries offer protein, fiber, and nutrients that processed options cannot match. The key to snack success lies in preparation and accessibility. When fresh options are pre-portioned and visible in the refrigerator, they become the convenient choice. When they require washing, cutting, and assembly while hunger strikes, processed alternatives win by default. How could you restructure your kitchen or shopping routine to make healthy snacks as convenient as processed alternatives? Common obstacles to fresh, fast cooking often stem from mindset rather than actual limitations. The belief that healthy food requires extensive time investment keeps many people trapped in cycles of processed convenience foods. In reality, boiling pasta takes as long as heating frozen meals, and assembling a sandwich requires less time than ordering delivery. Confidence builds through repetition and success. Starting with simple techniques and familiar flavors reduces intimidation while building skills. As comfort increases, experimentation becomes natural. The goal isn't perfection, but progress toward meals that nourish both body and spirit. Building a repertoire of reliable go-to meals creates food security and reduces decision fatigue. When each person develops 10 to 15 quick, healthy combinations they genuinely enjoy, meal planning becomes automatic rather than stressful. These meals should accommodate available time, skill level, and family preferences while providing proper nutrition. The transformation from processed convenience to fresh, flavorful meals happens gradually but creates lasting change. Energy levels stabilize as blood sugar spikes from processed foods diminish. Taste preferences shift toward appreciating natural flavors rather than artificial enhancement. Cooking confidence grows through repeated success with simple techniques. This approach to eating well recognizes that perfect nutrition means nothing if meals are too complicated, expensive, or time-consuming to maintain consistently. The most powerful healthy eating strategy is one that fits seamlessly into real life while providing genuine satisfaction and sustained energy for whatever challenges each day brings. Part 3. Cooking for energy and joy. Food is far more than fuel for our bodies. The meals we prepare and share have the power to transform our energy levels, lift our spirits, and create moments of genuine happiness. When we understand how different foods affect our mood and vitality, we can make choices that leave us feeling energized rather than sluggish. The simple act of cooking becomes a form of self-care that nourishes both body and soul. This connection between cooking, eating, and well-being reveals itself in countless ways throughout our daily lives. From the morning meal that sets our mood to the evening dinner that brings families together. Maya used to grab a sugary pastry and coffee every morning, wondering why she felt exhausted by 10 o'clock. Her energy would spike briefly, then crash dramatically, leaving her reaching for more caffeine or snacks. When she started preparing simple breakfasts with protein and whole grains, everything changed. A bowl of oatmeal topped with nuts and berries, or scrambled eggs with whole grain toast, provided steady energy that lasted through her morning meetings. The difference was remarkable. Her concentration improved, her mood stabilized, and she stopped experiencing those mid-morning energy crashes that once ruled her schedule. The science behind sustained energy is surprisingly straightforward. When we eat foods that cause rapid spikes in blood sugar, our bodies respond with insulin to bring those levels down quickly. This roller coaster effect leaves us feeling tired and craving more quick-fix foods. Balanced meals that combine protein, healthy fats, and complex carbohydrates release energy slowly and steadily. Think of it like the difference between burning newspaper and burning hardwood in a fireplace. The newspaper flares up quickly but burns out fast, while hardwood provides consistent warmth for hours. Have you noticed how certain meals make you feel alert and satisfied, while others leave you sluggish and wanting more? This awareness is the first step toward cooking for better energy. Tom discovered this principle when he started paying attention to his lunch choices. His usual sandwich made with white bread and processed meat left him drowsy during afternoon meetings. He began experimenting with salads that included lean protein, healthy fats like avocado, and a variety of colorful vegetables. Adding quinoa or brown rice provided the complex carbohydrates his body needed for sustained energy. The transformation was immediate. His afternoon slump disappeared, and he found himself more productive and focused throughout the day. The mood-boosting power of certain foods extends beyond energy levels. Foods rich in omega-3 fatty acids, like salmon and walnuts, support brain health and can help regulate mood. Dark leafy greens provide folate, which plays a role in producing neurotransmitters that affect how we feel. Even the act of preparing these foods can be therapeutic. The rhythmic chopping of vegetables, the sizzle of ingredients in a pan, and the aroma of herbs and spices create a sensory experience that naturally reduces stress. Lisa found cooking to be her escape from a demanding job in customer service. After dealing with difficult clients all day, she would spend 30 minutes in her kitchen preparing dinner. The process of washing and chopping fresh vegetables, seasoning proteins, and watching ingredients transform into a meal became her form of meditation. She noticed that on days when she cooked, she slept better and felt more relaxed. The kitchen became her sanctuary, a place where she could create something beautiful and nourishing with her own hands. This creative aspect of cooking often surprises people who view it as a chore. When we approach cooking with curiosity rather than obligation, it becomes an opportunity for self-expression. Experimenting with new herbs and spices, trying different cooking methods, or adapting recipes to personal preferences engages our creativity in ways that feel productive and satisfying. The immediate feedback of taste, aroma, and visual appeal provides instant gratification that many activities lack. Sharing meals amplifies these benefits exponentially. When Carlos started hosting simple dinner parties for friends, he discovered that the conversations became richer and more meaningful when they gathered around food he had prepared. The act of cooking for others is a form of care that strengthens relationships in ways that restaurant meals cannot match. Friends began reciprocating, creating a cycle of shared cooking and eating that brought joy to everyone involved. The ritual of preparing and sharing meals creates natural pauses in our busy lives. These moments allow us to connect with others and ourselves in ways that feel increasingly rare in our fast-paced world. Even simple family dinners can become opportunities for meaningful conversation and connection when we put away devices and focus on the food and company before us. What would change in your life if you viewed cooking as a creative outlet rather than a daily obligation? How might your relationships deepen if you invited others to share meals you prepared with care? The comfort food phenomenon reveals another layer of the cooking mood connection. Certain dishes have the power to soothe and nurture us during difficult times. But comfort doesn't have to mean unhealthy. A bowl of homemade soup with fresh vegetables and lean protein can provide the same emotional satisfaction as processed comfort foods, while actually supporting our well-being. The key is understanding that the comfort comes not just from the food itself, but from the care and attention invested in its preparation. Rachel learned this when her father became ill. She began making him simple, nourishing soups and stews, focusing on ingredients that would support his recovery while providing comfort. The act of cooking became a way to express love and care when words felt inadequate. The meals brought them together during a difficult time, creating moments of connection and normalcy amid uncertainty. Evening meals offer particular opportunities for restoration and joy. After a day of decisions and stress, the process of preparing dinner can serve as a transition ritual that helps us shift from work mode to personal time. Simple practices like playing music while cooking, involving family members in meal preparation, or setting an attractive table can transform ordinary weeknight dinners into occasions worth savoring. The Japanese concept of cooking with intention suggests that the energy and mood we bring to food preparation affects not only our own experience, but also that of the people who eat what we make. When we cook with love and attention, that care somehow infuses the meal itself. While this may sound mystical, many home cooks report that meals prepared with joy and care seem to taste better and create more satisfaction than identical dishes prepared hurriedly or resentfully. Building a repertoire of go-to meals that reliably provide energy and satisfaction requires some experimentation, but the investment pays dividends in daily well-being. Start with breakfast combinations that sustain energy, lunch options that prevent afternoon crashes, and dinner preparations that feel nurturing rather than burdensome. Notice which foods and cooking methods leave you feeling best, both physically and emotionally. The transformation from viewing cooking as obligation to experiencing it as joy happens gradually through small shifts in perspective and practice. Each meal becomes an opportunity to nourish not just our bodies, but our spirits and relationships as well. Part 4. Recipes that tell a story. Recipes hold secrets that go far beyond their list of ingredients and step-by-step instructions. They carry whispered stories from grandmother's kitchens, memories of celebration and comfort, and the wisdom of countless hands that have stirred, seasoned, and shared. When we truly understand this deeper meaning, cooking transforms from a daily task into an act of connection, healing, and love. Every dish becomes a bridge between past and present, between nourishment and tradition, offering us the power to create healthier versions of cherished meals while honoring their original spirit and significance. Elena discovered this truth when her grandmother's handwritten recipe cards arrived in a shoebox after the funeral. The yellowed index cards, stained with decades of cooking, contained more than measurements and cooking times. They held the essence of Sunday dinners, holiday gatherings, and the gentle rhythms of a life lived around the kitchen table. Her grandmother's famous stuffed cabbage rolls had been the centerpiece of every family celebration. But Elena faced a dilemma. The original recipe called for heavy cream, fatty ground beef, and white rice. As someone managing high blood pressure and trying to maintain stable energy levels, she needed to honor both her health and her heritage. The transformation began slowly. Elena replaced the fatty beef with a mixture of lean ground turkey and finely chopped mushrooms. The mushrooms added the umami depth her grandmother achieved with rich meat, while providing fiber and nutrients. She swapped heavy cream for Greek yogurt mixed with a splash of low-sodium broth, creating the same creamy texture with added protein and probiotics. What surprised Elena most was how these changes enhanced rather than diminished the dish. The turkey and mushroom filling felt lighter, but equally satisfying. The yogurt-based sauce provided the familiar comfort while supporting her digestive health. The brown rice she used instead of white gave her sustained energy that lasted through evening conversations with family. Think about your own family recipes. Which dishes carry the strongest memories for you, and how might you honor both their story and your current health needs? The science behind Elena's success lies in understanding how traditional cooking methods often align with nutritional wisdom. Her grandmother's recipe included fermented cabbage, which naturally supports gut health. The combination of protein, vegetables, and whole grains creates stable blood sugar levels. The cooking method itself, slow braising, helps break down tough fibers and develops complex flavors without added fats. Marcus faced a different challenge. His father's famous barbecue sauce had been the family's pride for 3 generations, but it contained enough sugar to spike blood glucose levels dramatically. Rather than abandon the recipe, Marcus began experimenting with the story behind the flavors. He learned that his great-grandfather had originally created the sauce during the Great Depression, when molasses was cheaper than sugar and provided essential minerals. Marcus returned to those roots, using blackstrap molasses in smaller quantities, balanced with apple cider vinegar for tanginess and smoked paprika for depth. The breakthrough came when he discovered that adding pureed roasted tomatoes and onions created the thick, rich consistency his family loved, while providing lycopene and fiber that naturally moderate blood sugar responses. His father initially resisted the changes until he tasted the results at the next family gathering. The new sauce carried all the smoky, complex flavors of the original, but left everyone feeling energized rather than sluggish after meals. More importantly, it preserved the ritual of Marcus's father sharing stories about his grandfather while basting ribs, maintaining the emotional connection that made the recipe meaningful. Creating healthier versions of treasured recipes requires understanding what makes them special beyond their ingredients. Often, the magic lies in techniques, timing, and the care with which they're prepared. A grandmother's chicken soup gains its healing properties not just from the chicken and vegetables, but from the long, slow simmering that extracts nutrients from bones and creates easily digestible proteins. When Rosa wanted to recreate her mother's comfort food while managing her family's various dietary needs, she discovered that the essence of dishes often translates beautifully across different ingredients. Her mother's creamy potato casserole became a cauliflower gratin with the same golden, bubbling top and satisfying richness. The secret was maintaining the cooking technique, using the same herbs and spices, and serving it with the same love and attention. How do you define comfort food, and what elements make certain dishes feel nurturing rather than just filling? The transformation of family recipes often reveals forgotten wisdom. Traditional cooking methods like fermentation, slow cooking, and using whole ingredients created naturally nutritious meals. When we strip away modern additions like processed ingredients and excessive sugars, we often find that the original recipes were already aligned with healthy eating principles. Take Maria's experience with her Italian grandmother's pasta sauce. The original recipe seemed simple: tomatoes, garlic, olive oil, and basil. But Maria realized that her grandmother had always used San Marzano tomatoes at peak ripeness, high-quality extra virgin olive oil, and fresh herbs from the garden. The sauce had incredible depth because each ingredient was chosen for maximum flavor and nutrition. When Maria recreated this approach, using the best ingredients she could find and allowing time for flavors to develop naturally, she discovered she needed far less oil and salt than modern recipes suggested. The dish satisfied her family completely while providing lycopene from tomatoes, heart-healthy fats from olive oil, and anti-inflammatory compounds from fresh herbs. The stories behind recipes often reveal the wisdom of food pairing that modern nutrition science now validates. Traditional combinations like beans and rice, tomatoes and olive oil, or turmeric and black pepper weren't accidents. They developed because these combinations provided complete nutrition and enhanced the absorption of beneficial compounds. Building new food traditions while honoring old ones requires patience and experimentation. Start by identifying what makes a dish meaningful beyond its taste. Is it the ritual of preparation, the sharing with loved ones, the connection to seasons or celebrations? Understanding these elements helps preserve the emotional significance while adapting the nutritional profile. Consider keeping a recipe journal that captures not just ingredients and methods, but the stories and memories associated with each dish. Note which healthy adaptations work well and which don't. This creates a living document that bridges past and future, honoring tradition while embracing better health. What story do you want your meals to tell? And how can you ensure that story includes both nourishment and joy for the people you care about most? Chapter 4: Beyond the Plate. Part 1: Food and Mood. Food affects your mind as much as your body. Understanding this connection can transform how you feel every day. When you eat foods that support your brain, you experience more stable moods, better focus, and greater emotional balance. This knowledge empowers you to make choices that strengthen both physical and mental health. You will discover why some foods lift your spirits while others drag you down. Learn practical strategies to overcome emotional eating and understand how to build lasting emotional strength through better nutrition. Your brain consumes about 20% of your daily calories, making it one of your body's most energy-hungry organs. The foods you choose directly influence how well this vital organ functions. Think of your brain as a high-performance car that runs best on premium fuel. When you feed it whole foods rich in nutrients, it operates smoothly. When you fill it with processed foods and sugar, it sputters and stalls. Consider the story of Elena, a marketing manager who struggled with afternoon energy crashes and mood swings. She typically grabbed a candy bar and coffee around 3 o'clock, which provided a quick boost followed by an even deeper crash. After learning about blood sugar stability, she switched to an apple with almond butter. Within 2 weeks, her energy remained steady throughout the day, and her colleagues noticed she seemed calmer and more focused during late meetings. The relationship between blood sugar and mood creates a powerful cycle. When you eat foods that spike your glucose levels quickly, your body responds by releasing large amounts of insulin. This hormone drives blood sugar down rapidly, often below normal levels. Your brain interprets this drop as an emergency, triggering the release of stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. These chemicals make you feel anxious, irritable, or sad. Complex carbohydrates work differently. Foods like oats, quinoa, and sweet potatoes release glucose slowly into your bloodstream. This steady supply keeps your mood stable and your mind clear. Protein foods also help by slowing digestion and providing amino acids that your brain uses to make mood-regulating chemicals. Omega-3 fatty acids deserve special attention in any discussion of food and mood. These healthy fats found in fish, walnuts, and flax seeds help build brain cell membranes and reduce inflammation. Research shows that people who eat more omega-3s report less depression and anxiety. Marcus, a teacher who added salmon to his diet twice weekly, noticed he felt more patient with difficult students and slept better at night. What patterns do you notice between your food choices and your emotional state throughout the day? The gut-brain connection reveals another layer of this relationship. Your digestive system contains more than 100 million nerve cells, sometimes called your second brain. The bacteria living in your intestines produce chemicals that directly affect your mood. When you eat fiber-rich foods like vegetables, fruits, and whole grains, you feed beneficial bacteria that produce mood-boosting compounds. Processed foods and excess sugar feed harmful bacteria that create inflammatory substances linked to depression and anxiety. Fermented foods like yogurt, kefir, sauerkraut, and kimchi introduce helpful bacteria directly into your system. These foods have been staples in healthy cultures for thousands of years. Adding just one serving daily can improve both digestion and mood within a few weeks. Emotional eating presents a common challenge that many people face. When stress, sadness, or boredom strikes, food often seems like the perfect solution. The temporary comfort from ice cream or chips feels real because these foods do trigger pleasure centers in your brain. However, this relief is short-lived and often followed by guilt, blood sugar crashes, and more emotional distress. Breaking the emotional eating cycle requires understanding your triggers and developing alternative responses. Keep a simple food and mood journal for 1 week. Note what you eat and how you feel before and after eating. Patterns will emerge that help you identify emotional versus physical hunger. Physical hunger builds gradually and can be satisfied with various foods. Emotional hunger strikes suddenly and craves specific comfort foods, usually sweet or salty processed items. When you recognize emotional hunger, try waiting 10 minutes before eating. Often the craving passes. If it persists, choose a food that provides genuine nourishment along with comfort. Lisa discovered she reached for cookies every time her boss criticized her work. Instead of fighting the urge completely, she kept homemade energy balls made with dates, nuts, and dark chocolate at her desk. This swap satisfied her need for something sweet while providing nutrients that actually improved her ability to handle stress. Building emotional resilience through food choices involves consistent daily practices rather than dramatic changes. Start your day with protein and healthy fats to stabilize blood sugar from the beginning. Include colorful vegetables at lunch to provide vitamins and minerals your brain needs for neurotransmitter production. End your day with foods rich in magnesium, like leafy greens or pumpkin seeds, which help your nervous system relax. Timing matters as much as food choices. Eating at regular intervals prevents blood sugar dips that trigger mood swings. Plan for healthy snacks between meals rather than waiting until you feel desperate. This proactive approach prevents both physical and emotional crashes. How might your relationships and work performance change if you maintained steady energy and mood throughout each day? Certain nutrients act as building blocks for mood-regulating brain chemicals. Tryptophan, found in turkey, eggs, and cheese, helps produce serotonin, often called the happiness hormone. B vitamins, abundant in leafy greens and whole grains, support energy production and nervous system function. Magnesium, present in nuts and seeds, helps calm anxiety and improve sleep quality. Rather than viewing these nutrients as medicine, think of them as tools in your daily toolkit for emotional well-being. A breakfast of scrambled eggs with spinach provides tryptophan, B vitamins, and protein for steady energy. A lunch of quinoa salad with pumpkin seeds delivers complex carbohydrates and magnesium for afternoon stability. The modern food environment often works against emotional health. Ultra-processed foods are designed to trigger cravings and override natural satiety signals. These products combine sugar, salt, and fat in ratios that rarely occur in nature, creating foods that are hard to stop eating. Understanding this design helps you make conscious choices rather than feeling like you lack willpower. Creating an environment that supports good choices makes emotional eating less likely. Keep cut vegetables and hummus readily available while storing cookies in hard-to-reach places. Stock your freezer with pre-portioned homemade meals for stressful days when cooking feels impossible. These small changes reduce the mental energy required to make healthy choices during difficult moments. Recovery from emotional eating episodes requires self-compassion rather than harsh self-criticism. When you do turn to food for comfort, acknowledge what happened without judgment. Ask yourself what you really needed in that moment. Was it rest, connection, or stress relief? This awareness helps you develop alternative strategies for next time. The journey toward using food as a tool for emotional resilience is ongoing, rather than a destination you reach. Some days will be easier than others. Progress comes from noticing patterns, making small adjustments, and being patient with yourself as new habits form. Each choice you make either supports or undermines your emotional well-being, but no single meal determines your overall health. Your relationship with food reflects your relationship with yourself. When you choose foods that genuinely nourish your body and mind, you practice self-care in its most fundamental form. This daily act of kindness towards yourself builds confidence and resilience that extends far beyond what you eat. Part 2. Breaking free from diet rules. Diet culture teaches us that food is the enemy and our bodies cannot be trusted. This creates a cycle of restriction, guilt, and rebellion that leaves many people feeling defeated and confused about eating. When you constantly fight against your natural hunger cues and label foods as good or bad, you lose touch with what truly nourishes you. The promise of quick fixes and perfect eating plans keeps millions trapped in patterns that damage both physical health and mental well-being. Learning to step away from these rigid rules opens the door to a more peaceful and sustainable relationship with food, where eating becomes an act of self-care rather than self-punishment. Diana started each Monday with the same promise to herself. This week would be different. She would follow her new diet plan perfectly, avoid all forbidden foods, and finally achieve the body she wanted. By Wednesday, she felt deprived and irritable. By Friday, she found herself eating everything she had denied herself earlier in the week, often consuming more than she would have if she had never restricted in the first place. This pattern repeated for years, leaving her feeling like a failure who lacked willpower. Research shows that restrictive dieting actually changes brain chemistry in ways that make overeating more likely. When you severely limit calories or entire food groups, your body responds as if facing famine. Hormones that regulate hunger and fullness become disrupted. Your metabolism slows down to conserve energy. Your brain increases focus on food and eating, making it nearly impossible to think about anything else. The diet industry profits from this biological response by selling the same solutions that created the problem. Each failed attempt gets blamed on personal weakness rather than the fundamental flaw in the approach. This creates shame that runs deeper than food choices, affecting self-worth and confidence in other areas of life. Marcus discovered this truth after 15 years of cycling through different eating plans. Each diet worked temporarily, but the weight always returned along with additional pounds. His relationship with food became so strained that he felt anxious at social gatherings and guilty about enjoying meals with his family. When he finally stopped dieting and started paying attention to his body's signals, something remarkable happened. His weight stabilized at a healthy level without conscious effort. His energy improved. His mood became more stable. What does it mean to trust your body again? It starts with recognizing that your body has sophisticated systems for managing energy and nutrition that work better than any external rules. Hunger and fullness cues exist for important reasons. Cravings often signal specific nutritional needs. The desire for variety ensures you get a range of nutrients over time. Consider how you felt as a child around food before diet culture influenced your thinking. Most children eat when hungry and stop when satisfied. They enjoy treats without guilt and balance indulgent foods with healthier options naturally. This intuitive approach gets buried under years of external messaging about what, when, and how much to eat. How might your relationship with food change if you treated your body as an ally rather than an opponent? The path forward involves gentle rebellion against diet mentality. Instead of asking whether foods are good or bad, ask how they make you feel. Instead of following someone else's meal plan, experiment with what satisfies your hunger and energy needs. Instead of eating based on rules, eat based on attunement to your body's wisdom. This process takes time and patience. Years of diet culture programming do not disappear overnight. Some days you might eat more than your body needs. Other days you might choose foods that do not serve you well. These experiences provide valuable information rather than evidence of failure. Rachel struggled with this transition initially. After decades of strict food rules, she felt lost without external guidelines. The fear of gaining weight made it difficult to trust her appetite. She started small by allowing herself one forbidden food each week without judgment. Gradually, she expanded this practice. As foods lost their forbidden status, her obsession with them decreased. She discovered that when chocolate was always available, she rarely wanted large amounts. The concept of mindful indulgence transforms how you approach treats and pleasure foods. Instead of eating them quickly with guilt, you savor them fully. You pay attention to taste, texture, and satisfaction. You notice when you have had enough. This approach often leads to eating smaller quantities while enjoying them more. Physical hunger becomes easier to recognize when you stop ignoring it through restriction. It develops gradually and can be satisfied by various foods. Emotional hunger appears suddenly and usually wants specific foods, often those associated with comfort or rebellion. Learning to distinguish between these two types of hunger helps you respond appropriately to each. Self-compassion plays a crucial role in this process. The voice that criticizes your food choices probably sounds familiar because it echoes messages you have heard for years. Changing this internal dialogue requires conscious effort. When you notice judgment arising, try responding with curiosity instead. What led to this choice? What can you learn from this experience? Food flexibility means having permission to eat all foods while choosing mostly those that support your health and well-being. This balanced approach removes the scarcity mindset that drives overeating. When you know you can have ice cream tomorrow, you do not need to finish the entire container today. Your journey toward food freedom will be unique because your history, preferences, and circumstances are unique. Some people find it helpful to work with professionals who understand the recovery process from diet culture. Others prefer to explore this path independently with support from books, podcasts, or online communities. The goal is not perfect eating, but peaceful eating. You eat in ways that honor your health, satisfy your taste preferences, and fit your lifestyle. You enjoy food without guilt and nourish your body without obsession. This approach creates space for food to take its proper place in your life, rather than consuming all your mental energy. As you practice this new relationship with food, you might notice improvements beyond eating patterns. Many people report better sleep, more stable moods, increased energy for activities they enjoy, and improved relationships with others. When food stops being a source of stress, mental resources become available for other pursuits. What would you do with the time and energy you currently spend thinking about diets and food rules? Part 3. Eating together, living better. The simple act of sharing a meal transforms ordinary food into something powerful. When we eat together, we create bonds that extend far beyond the dinner table. This practice touches every aspect of our lives, from strengthening family relationships to building community connections. Research shows that people who regularly share meals experience better mental health, stronger social ties, and even improved physical well-being. Whether it's a quick breakfast with your partner or a weekly dinner with friends, these moments of connection offer benefits that no solo meal can provide. The stories and strategies in this section will show you how to harness the remarkable power of eating together. Think about your most memorable meals. Chances are they weren't just about the food. They were about the people you shared them with, the conversations that flowed, and the sense of belonging you felt. This connection isn't accidental. Humans have gathered around food for thousands of years, and this practice has shaped who we are as social beings. Consider the story of Rosa, a working mother who felt disconnected from her teenage children. Between work schedules, school activities, and social commitments, the family rarely ate together. Meals became rushed affairs, with everyone grabbing food on the go. Rosa noticed her children seemed more distant, and family communication suffered. She decided to implement one simple rule: 3 family dinners per week, no phones allowed. The first few dinners felt awkward. Her children complained about the phone restriction, and conversations were stilted. But Rosa persisted. Within a month, something shifted. Her daughter started sharing stories about school friends. Her son began asking for advice about his part-time job. The dinner table became a safe space for real conversation. Rosa discovered that her children were more willing to discuss problems and seek guidance when they felt heard and valued. Research supports Rosa's experience. Children who eat regular family meals show improved academic performance, better emotional regulation, and lower rates of risky behaviors. They're more likely to eat nutritious foods and develop healthy eating patterns that last into adulthood. The benefits extend to adults too. Parents who prioritize family meals report feeling more connected to their children and more confident in their parenting abilities. But creating meaningful shared meals doesn't require elaborate cooking or formal dinner parties. The key lies in presence and intention. When Elena, a busy nurse, realized she was too tired for elaborate dinners, she started a simple tradition: Every Sunday morning, she and her roommate would share coffee and toast while planning their week. This 15-minute ritual became the foundation of their friendship and helped them support each other through stressful periods. What small change could you make to eat with others more often? The answer doesn't need to be complicated. Sometimes the simplest gestures create the strongest connections. The workplace offers another opportunity for connection through food. Marcus, a software developer, noticed his team felt disconnected despite working closely together. He suggested they eat lunch together twice a week instead of eating at their desks. The simple act of sharing a meal space transformed team dynamics. Colleagues learned about each other's lives, built trust, and communicated more effectively on projects. Creating meaningful shared meals in busy lives requires planning and flexibility. Start small with one shared meal per week. Focus on being present rather than creating perfect meals. Put away phones and other distractions. Ask open-ended questions that encourage conversation. Share your own stories and experiences. Listen actively to others. The ritual of eating together also preserves cultural traditions and creates new ones. When David moved far from his extended family, he missed the large Sunday dinners of his childhood. He started hosting monthly potluck dinners for his new neighbors. Each person brought a dish that represented their heritage. These gatherings became a way to build community and learn about different cultures through food. Food traditions connect us to our past and create memories for the future. They don't need to be elaborate or expensive. The tradition of Saturday morning pancakes or Thursday pizza night can become as meaningful as holiday feasts. The key is consistency and shared experience. Communities that prioritize shared meals tend to be stronger and more resilient. During difficult times, people who have built connections through food are more likely to support each other. The simple act of inviting a neighbor for coffee or organizing a block party around food creates networks of mutual support. How can you contribute to building community connections through shared meals? Consider your existing relationships and communities. Look for opportunities to bring people together around food, whether it's a book club that meets over dinner or a walking group that ends with coffee. The benefits of eating together extend to our relationship with food itself. When we eat with others, we tend to make better food choices, eat more slowly, and enjoy our meals more fully. The social aspect of eating activates our satisfaction signals more effectively than eating alone. We're also more likely to try new foods when we're in a supportive social environment. Shared meals create space for teaching and learning about food. Children learn eating behaviors primarily through observation and experience. When families eat together regularly, children develop broader food preferences and better eating habits. They learn table manners, conversation skills, and cultural values through these daily interactions. The practice of eating together doesn't require perfect circumstances. Even busy families can find ways to connect through food. Morning coffee together, packed lunches eaten in the same space, or weekend breakfast traditions all count as shared meals. The important element is the intention to connect and be present with each other. For people living alone, creating opportunities for shared meals might require more effort, but the benefits are equally important. Joining community groups, organizing regular dinners with friends, or participating in communal dining events can provide the social connection that solo living might lack. Remember that the goal isn't to create Instagram-worthy meals or formal dining experiences. The most meaningful shared meals often happen around simple food in comfortable settings. A bowl of soup shared with a friend during a difficult time can be more nourishing than an elaborate restaurant meal eaten in silence. As you think about incorporating more shared meals into your life, consider what barriers might be preventing this practice. Time constraints, conflicting schedules, and different food preferences are common challenges. Address these practically by starting small, being flexible about timing, and focusing on connection rather than perfection. The investment in shared meals pays dividends in relationship quality, community strength, and personal well-being. When we eat together, we feed not just our bodies but our need for connection and belonging. This practice transforms food from mere fuel into a bridge that connects us to others and enriches our lives in countless ways. Part 4. Building a lifetime of healthy choices. Building sustainable eating habits requires thinking beyond quick fixes and short-term goals. This section shows you how to create lasting change that adapts to life's ups and downs. You'll discover practical strategies for maintaining healthy choices through major life transitions. Learn how to bounce back from setbacks without giving up, and understand why consistency matters more than perfection. Most importantly, you'll see how to make healthy eating a natural part of your life story rather than a constant struggle or temporary phase. Creating habits that endure starts with shifting your mindset from perfection to progress. Rachel, a working mother of two, learned this lesson after years of starting strict diets every Monday, only to abandon them by Thursday. Her breakthrough came when she stopped viewing slip-ups as failures and started seeing them as normal parts of the process. Instead of eating perfectly 7 days a week, she aimed for making good choices 80% of the time. This approach allowed her to enjoy birthday cake at office parties and pizza nights with her kids while still maintaining her overall health goals. The foundation of lifelong healthy eating rests on building small, consistent habits rather than making dramatic overnight changes. Think of it like learning to play an instrument. You don't start by attempting complex pieces on day one. You practice scales, build finger strength, and gradually work up to more challenging music. Similarly, sustainable eating habits develop through repeated small actions that eventually become automatic responses. Consider how Tom approached changing his breakfast routine. Instead of completely overhauling his morning meal from sugary cereal to a complex smoothie bowl, he made one small change each month. First, he added berries to his cereal. The next month, he switched to whole grain cereal. Then he gradually reduced the portion size while adding Greek yogurt on the side. After 6 months, his breakfast naturally evolved into something that stabilized his blood sugar and kept him satisfied until lunch. What small change could you make to one meal this week that would move you toward your health goals? The key lies in choosing modifications so minor they feel almost effortless to maintain. Life changes present both challenges and opportunities for maintaining healthy eating patterns. Career transitions, moves, relationship changes, and family additions all disrupt established routines. Rather than viewing these disruptions as roadblocks, successful long-term healthy eaters see them as chances to reassess and adapt their approaches. When Maya moved from a small town to a busy city for her new job, her entire food routine collapsed. Her previous habits of shopping at farmers markets and cooking elaborate meals became impossible with her longer commute and demanding schedule. Instead of abandoning healthy eating altogether, she adapted her approach. She discovered grocery stores that offered pre-cut vegetables, learned to make simple one-pot meals, and found healthy restaurants near her office for busy days. Her eating style evolved, but her commitment to nourishing her body remained constant. Travel presents another common challenge that derails many people's healthy eating efforts. Business traveler James developed strategies that worked across different cities and countries. He researched restaurants in advance, packed protein bars and nuts for airports, and made it a point to try local vegetables and fruits wherever he went. Rather than seeing travel as a reason to abandon healthy choices, he viewed it as an adventure in discovering new nutritious foods. The concept of flexibility within structure proves essential for long-term success. This means having non-negotiable elements alongside areas where you can adapt based on circumstances. Your non-negotiables might include eating vegetables with every meal, staying hydrated throughout the day, or having protein at breakfast. The flexible elements could be the specific types of vegetables, whether you drink water or herbal tea, or whether your breakfast protein comes from eggs, yogurt, or a smoothie. Building resilience against setbacks requires developing what researchers call psychological flexibility. This means accepting that perfect consistency is impossible and planning for imperfection. When Lisa found herself stress eating during a difficult divorce, she didn't interpret this as evidence that she was incapable of healthy eating. Instead, she recognized it as a temporary coping mechanism and gradually implemented other stress management techniques while being patient with herself around food choices. How do you typically respond when you don't stick to your intended eating patterns? Learning to treat yourself with the same compassion you'd show a good friend going through challenges creates the emotional foundation for long-term success. Continuous learning and experimentation keep healthy eating interesting and sustainable over decades. Your nutritional needs change as you age, your taste preferences evolve, and new research provides updated guidance. Embracing this evolution prevents healthy eating from becoming boring or outdated. David, now in his 60s, reflects on how his approach to nutrition has changed over 4 decades. In his 20s, he focused on eating enough protein to support his athletic activities. In his 30s and 40s, convenience became important as he balanced career and family responsibilities. Now, with more time and awareness of age-related health concerns, he emphasizes foods that support brain health and bone density. Throughout these changes, his core commitment to eating mostly whole foods remains steady while the specific applications adapted to his life stage. The role of community support cannot be understated in maintaining lifelong healthy habits. This doesn't necessarily mean formal support groups or nutritionists, though those can be valuable. It might mean finding friends who enjoy trying new healthy restaurants, family members who are willing to experiment with vegetable-forward recipes, or online communities that share practical tips and encouragement. Environmental design also plays a crucial role in sustaining healthy choices over time. This means setting up your physical environment to make good choices easier and poor choices more difficult. Keep cut vegetables visible in your refrigerator, store nuts and seeds in easy-to-grab containers, and position fruit on your kitchen counter where you'll see it regularly. When unhealthy options require more effort to access, you're more likely to choose nourishing alternatives. Building a lifetime of healthy choices ultimately means viewing food as one important element of overall well-being, rather than the sole determinant of health. Regular physical activity, adequate sleep, stress management, and social connections all interact with your eating patterns to influence how you feel and function. This broader perspective prevents food from becoming a source of anxiety or obsession, while maintaining its importance in supporting your health goals. The journey toward lifelong healthy eating succeeds when it becomes so integrated into your identity and daily routines that it feels natural rather than forced. This integration happens gradually, through thousands of small decisions that align with your values and support your well-being. Each choice builds upon previous ones, creating momentum that carries you through challenging periods and transitions. Chapter 5. The Journey Ahead. Part 1. Staying inspired. Maintaining momentum on your healthy eating journey requires more than willpower. It demands smart strategies for staying motivated when life gets tough. This section explores proven methods for keeping your inspiration alive through setbacks and celebrations alike. You will discover how ordinary people transform their relationship with food by setting realistic goals, tracking meaningful progress, and finding joy in small victories. Learn to tap into communities, resources, and mindsets that fuel long-term success while making the process enjoyable rather than restrictive. Elena discovered the power of small celebrations when she started preparing one new vegetable each week. Instead of overwhelming herself with a complete diet overhaul, she focused on this single goal. After successfully trying roasted Brussels sprouts, she bought herself a beautiful wooden cutting board. This simple reward system kept her excited about cooking and helped her build confidence in the kitchen. The key to lasting motivation lies in setting goals that feel achievable rather than intimidating. Research shows that people who break large changes into smaller steps maintain their habits 60% longer than those who attempt dramatic transformations. Think about choosing 3 specific foods to add to your diet this month, rather than eliminating entire food groups. Marcus learned this lesson after multiple failed attempts at strict eating plans. He shifted his focus from restriction to addition, aiming to eat one colorful vegetable with lunch each day. Within 6 months, this simple practice led him to naturally crave more nutritious foods and reduce his processed food intake without feeling deprived. Tracking progress becomes motivating when you measure the right things. Instead of focusing solely on weight, consider monitoring energy levels, sleep quality, mood, and how your clothes fit. Keep a simple food journal, noting not just what you eat, but how different foods make you feel. What aspects of your health have improved since you started paying attention to your eating habits? Rita started taking photos of her colorful meals rather than counting calories. This visual diary helped her notice patterns and celebrate the variety in her diet. She realized that her most energetic days followed meals rich in vegetables and whole grains, which motivated her to continue making these choices. Finding inspiration in your community can provide the support you need during challenging times. Local farmers markets offer opportunities to discover new ingredients while connecting with people who share your interest in good food. Many communities host cooking classes, potluck dinners, or food swaps that make healthy eating feel social rather than solitary. Online communities provide support when local options are limited. Join forums focused on specific cooking techniques, dietary approaches, or health goals that align with your interests. Share your successes and challenges with people who understand your journey. James found motivation through a local community garden where he volunteered twice monthly. Working alongside experienced gardeners taught him about seasonal eating while providing fresh produce for his meals. The physical activity and social connections made healthy eating feel like part of a larger, meaningful lifestyle. Cookbooks and food blogs serve as sources of inspiration when your meal planning feels stale. Choose resources that match your cooking skill level and available time. Look for authors who emphasize whole foods and simple preparation methods rather than complicated techniques or expensive ingredients. How do you currently discover new recipes and food ideas? The key is maintaining curiosity about food rather than viewing eating as a chore. When you approach meals with interest and creativity, healthy choices become natural rather than forced. Experiment with herbs and spices from different cultures. Try cooking methods you have never used, or visit ethnic grocery stores to discover new ingredients. Building resilience means preparing for setbacks without letting them derail your progress. Understand that challenging days will come when you eat foods that do not align with your goals. These moments are normal parts of any long-term change, not failures that require starting over. Developing a growth mindset around food means viewing each meal as an opportunity to nourish yourself rather than a test to pass or fail. When you eat something that leaves you feeling sluggish or unsatisfied, use that information to make a different choice next time, rather than criticizing yourself. Lisa struggled with perfectionist thinking until she reframed her approach. Instead of labeling foods as good or bad, she began asking herself how different choices made her feel physically and emotionally. This shift helped her make decisions based on self-care rather than self-judgment. Creating rituals around healthy eating helps maintain motivation through routine rather than relying on daily willpower. This might involve preparing vegetables immediately after grocery shopping, starting each morning with a glass of water, or ending meals when you feel satisfied rather than full. The most sustainable changes happen gradually and become part of your identity rather than temporary behaviors. When you see yourself as someone who enjoys nourishing food, chooses quality ingredients, and pays attention to how eating affects your well-being, these choices become automatic rather than effortful. What small ritual could you establish this week to support your healthy eating goals? Remember that inspiration often comes from focusing on how good you feel when you eat well, rather than restricting yourself from foods you enjoy. Notice the connection between your food choices and your energy, mood, and overall sense of vitality. These positive associations create lasting motivation that extends far beyond any temporary diet plan. Part 2. Navigating modern food traps. Modern food environments create daily challenges that can derail even the most committed healthy eaters. Today's supermarkets, restaurants, and convenience stores use sophisticated strategies designed to influence purchasing decisions, often leading consumers toward less nutritious options. Understanding these tactics and developing practical skills to counter them transforms grocery shopping and dining out from potential minefields into opportunities for better health. This section reveals the hidden mechanisms behind food marketing, provides concrete strategies for reading labels effectively, and shares proven techniques for making confident choices in any food environment. Food companies spend billions annually on marketing research to understand exactly how to trigger purchasing impulses. These strategies work on psychological principles that bypass rational decision-making. Take the placement of colorful cereals at children's eye level, while healthier options sit on higher shelves. Or consider how end-of-aisle displays create the illusion of special deals, even when prices remain unchanged. Marcus discovered this firsthand during his weekly grocery trips. He consistently left the store with items he never intended to buy, particularly snacks positioned near the checkout line. The breakthrough came when he started using a simple rule. Shop the perimeter first, where fresh produce, dairy, and meat typically live, then venture into center aisles with a specific list. The challenge extends beyond placement strategies. Ultra-processed foods now comprise roughly 60% of calories in typical Western diets, yet many consumers remain unaware of what qualifies as ultra-processed. These products contain ingredients you would never find in a home kitchen: emulsifiers, preservatives, artificial colors, and flavor enhancers designed to create what food scientists call bliss points. Hidden sugars present another significant obstacle. Food manufacturers use over 60 different names for added sugars, making detection difficult for even careful label readers. High fructose corn syrup, dextrose, maltodextrin, and rice syrup all represent added sugars, yet appear innocent to untrained eyes. Lisa learned this lesson when she decided to reduce her family's sugar intake. She started reading ingredient lists more carefully and discovered that their healthy breakfast bars contained 4 different types of added sugar, totaling more than a candy bar. Her solution involved a systematic approach. She photographed labels of products her family regularly consumed, then researched unfamiliar ingredients at home without time pressure. Blood sugar management offers a practical framework for making better choices throughout the day. Foods that cause rapid glucose spikes often lead to energy crashes and increased cravings within hours. Simple strategies can dramatically reduce these fluctuations. Eating protein or fiber before consuming carbohydrates, choosing whole grains over refined versions, and adding healthy fats to meals. Restaurant dining presents unique challenges since preparation methods and ingredients remain largely hidden. Chain restaurants now provide nutrition information, but independent establishments rarely offer such transparency. Successful restaurant strategies involve focusing on preparation methods rather than specific dishes. How do you currently approach menu decisions when dining out? Consider this systematic approach. Start by identifying grilled, steamed, or roasted options rather than fried alternatives. Request dressings and sauces on the side to control portions. Ask about cooking oils since many restaurants use highly processed vegetable oils for cost reasons. Jake transformed his business lunch experiences by developing specific phrases that felt natural in professional settings. Instead of appearing difficult, he learned to say things like, "I'd love the salmon grilled rather than in the cream sauce," or "Could I substitute the roasted vegetables for the pasta?" Most restaurants accommodate such requests willingly. Convenience foods require careful evaluation since not all processed foods are equally problematic. The key lies in understanding the difference between minimally processed items like frozen vegetables or canned beans and ultra-processed products containing multiple additives and preservatives. A practical rule involves counting ingredients. Foods with fewer than 5 recognizable ingredients typically represent better choices than those with lengthy, complex ingredient lists. This approach helped Diana simplify her family's snack choices. Instead of granola bars with 20-plus ingredients, she chose nuts, fresh fruit, or yogurt with minimal additives. The grocery store layout itself influences purchasing patterns. Stores strategically place high-margin processed foods at eye level while positioning healthier options higher or lower on shelves. Fresh produce sections are typically located near entrances to create positive first impressions, yet many shoppers rush through these areas to reach packaged goods. Developing a systematic shopping approach counters these influences effectively. Start with produce, selecting a variety of colors to ensure diverse nutrients. Move to perimeter sections for proteins and dairy before venturing into center aisles with a specific list organized by meal planning. Label reading skills require practice, but become intuitive with repetition. Focus first on ingredient lists rather than front-of-package marketing claims. Ingredients appear in descending order by weight, so the first few items comprise the majority of the product. Look for whole food ingredients you recognize and can pronounce. What processing clues do you notice when comparing similar products? Bread provides an excellent example. Whole grain bread might list whole wheat flour, water, yeast, salt, while processed versions contain dozens of additives, including preservatives, emulsifiers, and artificial flavors. Timing grocery trips strategically reduces impulse purchases. Shopping after meals rather than when hungry leads to more rational decisions. Weekend morning trips often provide better produce selection and less crowded conditions for careful label reading. Emergency food situations require advanced planning. Keeping healthy options readily available prevents reliance on convenience store or vending machine choices during busy periods. This might involve keeping nuts in your car, protein bars in your desk, or pre-cut vegetables in your refrigerator. The goal involves developing confidence in any food environment, rather than avoiding challenging situations entirely. With practice, these skills become automatic responses that support your health goals while fitting naturally into your lifestyle. Part 3. Celebrating progress, not perfection. Learning to eat well requires a fundamental shift in how we measure success. Most people approach healthy eating with an all-or-nothing mindset, believing they must follow every rule perfectly or they have failed completely. This perfectionist approach creates a cycle of restriction followed by guilt, shame, and eventual abandonment of healthy habits. The truth is that sustainable change happens through progress, not perfection. When we learn to celebrate small wins and treat setbacks as learning opportunities rather than failures, we build the foundation for lasting transformation. Consider Maya, a working mother who spent years trying diet after diet. Each time, she would start with strict rules about what she could and could not eat. For a few weeks, she would follow everything perfectly. Then life would happen. A work deadline would force her to grab fast food for dinner, or she would eat cake at her daughter's birthday party. Instead of seeing these as normal parts of life, Maya would view them as complete failures and abandon her healthy eating efforts entirely. Everything changed when Maya learned to focus on progress rather than perfection. She started tracking positive choices instead of counting failures. When she chose an apple instead of chips for her afternoon snack, she celebrated that win. When she remembered to drink water before her morning coffee, she acknowledged that improvement. This shift in perspective helped her see that healthy eating was not about being perfect, but about making better choices more often than before. The science behind this approach is clear. Research shows that people who practice self-compassion are more likely to maintain healthy behaviors long-term. When we beat ourselves up for mistakes, our stress levels increase, which actually makes it harder to make good decisions. Self-criticism triggers the same stress response as external threats, flooding our system with hormones that increase cravings for comfort foods high in sugar and fat. Carlos discovered this truth during his journey to improve his eating habits. As a construction worker with irregular hours, he often found himself eating whatever was convenient. When he first tried to eat healthier, he would pack perfect meals for work. But when he forgot his lunch or had to work late, he would grab pizza or burgers and then feel terrible about himself. This guilt would lead to more poor choices, creating a downward spiral. His breakthrough came when he learned to practice the "what would I tell a friend" technique. Instead of harsh self-criticism, he started speaking to himself with the same kindness he would show a good friend facing the same challenges. When he made a less-than-ideal food choice, he would think, "That happens to everyone. What can I do better next time?" This simple shift helped him bounce back faster from setbacks and maintain momentum toward his goals. Building self-compassion requires practice, just like any other skill. One effective method is the progress journal approach. Instead of focusing on what went wrong each day, write down 3 things you did well, no matter how small. Maybe you chose whole grain bread instead of white bread, or you noticed when you were full and stopped eating. These small victories add up over time, and help rewire your brain to notice positive changes rather than dwelling on mistakes. Have you noticed how you talk to yourself when you make a food choice you later regret? Would you speak to a friend the same way? The concept of flexible eating guidelines rather than rigid rules proves essential for long-term success. Elena, a college student, learned this lesson when she realized that her strict meal timing was causing more stress than benefit. She had read that eating every 3 hours was optimal, but her class schedule made this impossible some days. Instead of abandoning healthy eating entirely when she could not follow this rule, she learned to adapt. On busy days, she focused on eating balanced meals when possible and keeping healthy snacks available for when regular mealtimes were not feasible. This flexibility extends to food choices as well. Rather than labeling foods as good or bad, successful long-term healthy eaters learn to think in terms of more often and less often choices. Vegetables, fruits, whole grains, and lean proteins become more often choices, while processed snacks and desserts become less often choices. This approach eliminates the guilt associated with enjoying treats occasionally while maintaining focus on nutritious options most of the time. The power of celebrating small wins cannot be overstated. Research in behavioral psychology shows that celebrating progress releases dopamine, the same neurotransmitter involved in motivation and reward. When we acknowledge our positive choices, we literally rewire our brain to find healthy eating more rewarding. This creates a positive feedback loop that makes it easier to maintain good habits over time. Robert, a busy executive, learned to celebrate micro-victories throughout his day. When he chose sparkling water instead of soda at lunch, he took a moment to acknowledge that choice. When he added vegetables to his dinner, he recognized that improvement. These small celebrations seemed insignificant at first, but over time they built his confidence and made healthy choices feel more natural and automatic. The journey toward better eating habits rarely follows a straight line. Most people experience what researchers call the spiral of change rather than linear progress. This means taking steps forward, sliding back occasionally, then moving forward again, often to a point further than before. Understanding this pattern helps normalize setbacks and prevents them from derailing long-term progress. Setbacks often provide valuable information about what works and what does not work in your specific situation. When Rachel found herself stress eating during a particularly challenging period at work, instead of viewing this as failure, she used it as an opportunity to develop better coping strategies. She realized that having healthy comfort foods readily available and practicing stress reduction techniques before eating helped her manage difficult emotions without abandoning her health goals entirely. The practice of good enough eating proves transformative for many people. This approach recognizes that sometimes a mediocre healthy choice is better than waiting for the perfect option. When David was traveling for work and found himself in an airport with limited options, instead of giving up on healthy eating entirely, he chose the best available option. A grilled chicken sandwich from a fast casual restaurant was not his ideal meal, but it was better than skipping eating entirely or choosing something completely lacking in nutrition. What small progress in your eating habits could you celebrate today, regardless of any mistakes you might have made? Creating realistic expectations forms the foundation of sustainable change. Many people expect to transform their eating habits overnight, but lasting change typically takes months or even years to fully establish. Setting micro goals that build on each other proves more effective than attempting dramatic changes all at once. Instead of overhauling your entire diet immediately, focus on one small change each week, such as adding a vegetable to one meal per day, or replacing one processed snack with a whole food option. The concept of progress photography for eating habits can help visualize improvement over time. Just as fitness enthusiasts take photos to track physical changes, keeping a simple food photo journal can help you see patterns and progress in your eating habits. Looking back at photos from months ago often reveals significant improvements that might otherwise go unnoticed in day-to-day life. Learning to find joy in the process rather than fixating solely on outcomes creates a sustainable approach to healthy eating. When Lisa shifted from focusing only on weight loss to enjoying the process of trying new recipes, learning about nutrition, and feeling more energetic, her entire relationship with food transformed. She began looking forward to grocery shopping, experimenting with new ingredients, and preparing meals, rather than viewing these activities as chores or obstacles to overcome. The practice of gratitude for your body and the food available to you can shift perspective from restriction to abundance. Taking a moment before meals to appreciate the nourishment you are about to receive, the farmers who grew the food, and your body's ability to digest and use these nutrients creates a positive mindset that supports healthy choices naturally. Remember that every expert was once a beginner, and every person who now eats well had to learn these skills over time. The goal is not to be perfect, but to be better than you were yesterday, last week, or last month. Each positive choice builds on the previous one, creating momentum that carries you forward even when motivation wavers. Celebrate every step forward, learn from every setback, and trust that consistent progress will lead to lasting transformation. Part 4. Writing your own food story. Food becomes deeply personal when you realize that every meal is a chance to write your own story. This transformative perspective shifts eating from a series of random choices to an intentional practice that reflects who you are and who you want to become. By understanding your unique relationship with food, identifying your core values, and creating a clear vision for your future self, you can craft a sustainable approach to eating that brings both health and joy. The following exploration will guide you through practical exercises and frameworks to help you become the author of your own food story, making choices that feel authentic, meaningful, and aligned with your deepest aspirations. Every person carries a unique food story shaped by childhood memories, family traditions, cultural background, and personal experiences. Maya discovered this truth when she started journaling about her eating habits. She noticed that her tendency to skip breakfast connected to rushed mornings in college, while her love for elaborate Sunday dinners stemmed from cherished family gatherings. This awareness helped her understand why certain eating patterns felt natural while others required more effort. Your food story includes both the chapters you inherited and the ones you can still write. Consider how your upbringing shaped your current eating patterns. Did your family celebrate with food? Did mealtimes bring stress or joy? Were there foods that were forbidden or glorified? Understanding these patterns helps you decide which traditions to honor and which to transform. What emotions come up when you think about your earliest food memories, and how do they influence your eating choices today? Creating your personal food philosophy requires identifying what matters most to you, beyond just weight or appearance. Emma realized that her core values included environmental sustainability, supporting local farmers, and sharing meals with loved ones. This clarity helped her make decisions that felt meaningful rather than restrictive. When faced with food choices, she asked herself whether each option aligned with her values. Your food philosophy might prioritize energy for your active lifestyle, managing a health condition, modeling healthy habits for your children, or simply finding more pleasure in daily meals. Take time to write down what you truly value about food and eating. These values become your compass when making difficult choices or when faced with conflicting information about what to eat. The process of visioning helps you imagine your ideal relationship with food. Picture yourself 1 year from now as someone who eats well consistently. How do you feel in your body? What does a typical day of eating look like? How do you handle challenging situations? This vision provides direction and motivation when old habits try to resurface. Carlos created a vision of himself as someone who prepared most meals at home, tried new vegetables regularly, and ate mindfully without distractions. He wrote this vision down and referred to it when making decisions. When offered fast food during a busy day, he remembered his vision and chose to pack a simple meal instead. This wasn't about perfection, but about moving toward the person he wanted to become. How would you describe your ideal relationship with food? And what small steps could move you closer to that vision today? Goal setting within your food story works best when it connects to your deeper values rather than external expectations. Instead of setting generic goals like lose weight or eat healthy, Create specific intentions that reflect your personal story. You might set goals like prepare 3 family meals each week that honor my grandmother's recipes with healthier ingredients, or try 1 new vegetable monthly to expand my palate. The most sustainable goals focus on adding positive behaviors rather than restricting yourself. Lisa set a goal to include a vegetable she genuinely enjoyed in every lunch. This simple addition naturally crowded out less nutritious options while building her confidence in the kitchen. Over time, this small change expanded into preparing more elaborate salads and experimenting with roasted vegetables. Tracking your food story journey requires looking beyond the scale or calorie counts. Consider keeping a simple journal that captures how foods make you feel, which meals bring you joy, and when you feel most satisfied. Notice patterns between your eating choices and your energy levels, mood, and overall well-being. Document your wins and challenges without judgment. When David started tracking his food story, he noticed that he made better choices when he planned meals ahead and struggled most when he was overly hungry. This awareness helped him adjust his approach rather than abandon his efforts entirely. Regular reflection strengthens your food story over time. Schedule monthly check-ins with yourself to review what's working well and what needs adjustment. Ask yourself whether your current eating patterns align with your values and vision. If not, explore what changes might help without dramatic overhauls. What patterns do you notice in your eating habits, and which ones serve your vision for the future? Building your food story also means creating new traditions and rituals that support your goals. Maybe you establish a weekly farmer's market visit, start a small herb garden, or designate Sunday afternoons for meal preparation. These rituals become anchors that support your healthy eating intentions, even when life gets busy. Remember that your food story will continue evolving as you grow and change. The key is maintaining awareness of your choices and their connection to your larger vision for your life. By becoming the conscious author of your food story, you transform eating from a source of stress or guilt into an expression of self-care and personal values. Your food story is uniquely yours to write. Each meal offers a new page, each day a new chapter. The power to create a story that brings health, joy, and meaning lies in your hands, one thoughtful choice at a time.